is the Political Spotlight.
The Political Spotlight is a joke. It's more like a political flop.
Nobody listens to Bilbrey.
He's just a wannabe podcaster. No one takes him seriously.
He is a rude, crude dude that will never go any further than broadcasting from his mother's basement.
Bilbrey is a wrecking ball for Indiana politics.
Grab another box of Twinkies and generic cola, Bilbrey,
And get back to your microphone and your audience of nobodies.
The Political Spotlight is a joke. It's
He is like a rude, crude dude that will never go
Bilbrey's a wrecking ball for Indiana politics. Shut that stupid Bilbrey up.
Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're doing well. We're doing well here. Sorry that we are just a little late. We were having some strange issues with the audio, but it seems like we're good and everything is decent. So we like it, and I think everything's going to work well. Give me just 1 second here. I'm trying to set this up the way that Kate told me to do it, so that I will be able to make my marker. Oh, now there, look, I can set my marker the way that Kate told me the other day. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Political Spotlight. I am your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. And look, we're running a little late, but that's okay because the majority of you probably shouldn't have to get up and go to work tomorrow because it's Memorial Day weekend. Yay! Look, I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm smiling. That got me in trouble a couple years ago because I guess I'm supposed to be doomy and gloomy, and it's supposed to be all sullen, and just everybody's supposed to hate their lives and hate everybody else's lives. I'm just not doing it there. Just not doing it. I'm going to be excited and happy. But I will tell you all, it is Memorial Day. Have a very, very, very happy Memorial Day. I hope you guys have had a good weekend. I hope you all have remembered what this weekend is about. We're supposed to be remembering those who gave their all in service of this country, our brave men and women who signed up in the armed forces. And it's a time to reflect on those that gave everything and those that did not come back. We can also give thanks to the other men and women that served, but they also have their days. But this is the weekend and the day tomorrow that we give thanks to those who specifically did not return and gave everything. I personally want to give a personal shout out to my great uncle, David Marvin Williams, pictured here on screen. Look at him there. Isn't like what a badass. This dude is absolutely 1,000% badass. So really quickly, before we get into the politics here, I want to give you just a quick breakdown of what's going on here and who this is. And we'll let our guest talk a little bit when she comes on here in just 1 second about this too, because she has family that has served as well. But this man that is on the screen here is my great uncle. He is the brother, the oldest brother of my grandmother, the one that's watching and the one that you guys all interact with on here, my grandmother, Pauline. This is her oldest brother. He was 19 when he went off to fight in World War II. And for all of my childhood and all of my time that when I grew up, we all kind of went off of the thought that he had went off to World War II, and we knew that he and his people were part of the D-Day invasion. And knowing what happened at D-Day, we had all heard the story that he was one of the poor unfortunate victims of landing there at D-Day and just didn't make it up the hills. And that's the story that we had all heard. And that's, a fate that befell many servicemen. And, it's very honorable that those people were doing what they did and they gave their lives so that we can do what we do. But several years ago, in the early 2000s, my grandmother picked up received a phone call at her home, and there was a person that was speaking a foreign language. She didn't really understand what they were saying, what was going on, and in pretty quick order, we found out that basically what happened was there were these individuals that were trying to get in touch with my grandmother or someone in my grandmother's family because there was a woman back here in the States who her uncle, her dad's brother, had also been killed in action in World War II. And they had his helmet and they were trying to return his helmet, Jason Barron. They were trying to return his helmet to some family members. And lo and behold, the story kind of unfolded that there was a group of individuals that were in this unit together. And they not only made it up the hills, they made it past D-Day and amazingly lived past that, but they made it deep into country, and that they had set up in this little area there in France, and they actually held off soldiers that they were fighting until more troops could get behind them, and they actually saved this village. And this village looked at these guys as heroes for like a long time. They had made like markers for them, and it's a really cool story. Matter of fact, there was a book that was written about this. The lady who contacted us on the American side, she actually had went over here. And they did this thing where they had this great big ceremony, and they made statues of DM here. We call him DM. David Marvin Williams was his name. His family called him DM. And they made a statue of him and the other guys in his unit. Here's the book, Jason's Helmet, The True Story of a Helmet's Journey Home from the Battlefield. And the book is really cool. I've got the book, and basically it has a section for each one of the men that was in the unit. And it's a really, really cool story. But David Marvin here has a section of that book that he is in. Here's my grandmother down in Tennessee when we took our trip last fall. This is in memorial of the fallen comrades of World War II, erected in 1953. Here, David's name, David M. Williams. So, we have a story that is real close to home, obviously here. And so we obviously want to honor him and honor the rest of the men and women who have given their lives in combat, serving around the world and keeping us all safe. So we will take a quick moment of silence for these men and women, and then we'll get started. All right. Without further ado, like I said, we do have a guest tonight, and we're going to be talking to this guest about all things Madison County. It's been a minute since she's been on, so we have a lot to talk about as far as politics in Madison County go. We're going to talk a little bit about the Diego Morales drama, and we're going to be talking about a little bit of it all in an episode 669 called "You Get the Government You Tolerate." But before we get on with that, I do want to bring her up here and just have her give some of her thoughts on Memorial Day if she has anything she wants to say. Catherine, welcome.
So I sent you some pictures in Messenger if you want to bring those up.
Yes.
It's kind of an interesting thing that you talk about this tonight. So my dad, of course, everybody who really knows me knows that I'm a military brat. I was born in Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, of all places. And
isn't that a prison, a military prison?
Right? My dad was
your dad
my dad was finance. Yeah, my dad was finance, and so that's what he did.
Wait. Wait. I want to make sure. Is he one of the Japanese internment people?
No, he's actually American because that's why my last name is Callahan.
So bad. You've not been on this time, and I've got to immediately. I apologize, and
it's okay.
That
We've
is
come
a horrible
long way.
My joke with Catherine. I'm sorry, I had to get that out of the way.
So
let me fold this up here.
So this is the first picture is actually a pseudo dad who that's Papa. In my later life, they never had any children. My children were the first children, but they were very influential in the raising of my children. And he was a wonderful man. Still emotionally today.
Is this Papa?
This is Papa. He passed about 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
In June. And he did so much for me because, I never got to know my dad really because he died when I was fairly young. And he served and he was proud of his service to us. He wore his hat proudly. And so he passed and he was just very instrumental. And, the one thing I want to say as he served and he was just so proud and he felt everybody should have to do that. My daughter just got accepted to med school. He was a big part of that. So it's been an emotional, and I want to clear the air for a lot of people. And
this is your daughter with him, right?
No, that's me. I know I look so young.
I know. Go ahead.
I have a twin, but they're not the girls. The girls don't like to be shown on social media because of all of the backlash that I get. And for some reason, people feel they want to take it out on my daughters. And, as you see, my daughters have very good self-control. So, we live today because of them. And this is why the show tonight is the perfect title. Yes. You get the government you tolerate. These men and women who served for us, they didn't serve for us to go through what we are going through right now in the abuse of power. And so it's very important that we don't tolerate what these men and women have given their lives for. And some, even though they came back, mentally were not able to continue. And this is my dad here. If you're looking at the screen, he is on the right in the red tie. And then see, Republican right there. And then I don't know what his political affiliation was. And then that is my godfather, Uncle Joe, who's on the left side. He wasn't my uncle, but he was my godfather. And
who's the
I will
baby?
Tell you, I'm sorry?
Who's the baby?
That's me.
Oh my God. Is that
my
you?
Christening. That's my christening. Yeah. So what I will tell you, my dad was Irish Catholic, and then Uncle Joe, they met. Uncle Joe was a bit older.
He looks as Japanese as I imagine him.
Right. It was a bit older. And I will tell you, these two men, Uncle Joe is more of a special missions kind of non-commissioned officer, both non-commissioned officers. Sure. My dad was more finance. They had quite a bit of trauma as they came back, but Uncle Joe served 30 years. My dad served 20. So they were both career men in the military, and they were proud to serve until the day they die. I mean, I literally was raised in the younger days at post 7119 of VFW, right? Yeah, but Uncle Joe has a granddaughter who graduated from Harvard Law School. I have one on, headed to med school, and then another one. So, if these men could have just seen what they fought for and what they've given us, and then of course that is
this your mother?
and then that's my mother there in
Oh my
the
God.
pink. And
This is
so both of them
awesome.
married Japanese women. And Uncle Joe had 4 children who all became very successful. His children also served the country. His oldest son was a West Point graduate, and another one served as a pilot in the Navy. And then another one retired from UPS, and then he had a daughter as well. And hers is the one that went to Harvard Law School. And then you have my brother who served 30
So
years.
your brother serves.
Yep, as a colonel. And then, my dad. So, for people who wonder why I do what I do, well, because of what people have sacrificed. I mean, mentally, my dad did 3 tours in Vietnam and 1 tour in the Korean War. He would be 91 right now if he would have lived. And my mother is still alive. She is 90. So I'm thankful for everything that they've done and what they've fought for me and all the other people who have sacrificed, and not just the soldiers, but the families who have to sacrifice when they have to leave. And then, sometimes they come out as a different person when they come back. And so, we should give them some grace for what they've offered us. So that's it is a very, important day for us. Last year I went out and had lunch at the cemetery, and you see all the flags because my dad is buried in a military section. And I sat there and I asked myself, look at all these flags. What would these men and women think today of what our government has done? And so again, it's the government we tolerate. And so thank you to everybody who served and everybody who's watching. If you've served, I truly appreciate you.
And I want to before we
Nicole is on here, and she has served, and and it's not, this is about people who have passed. I understand that, but again, we still should recognize the people who are here with us as well, because they all sacrifice something.
Well, and before we go off here, I think we'd be remiss if I did not mention Niles Thornburg,
yes,
Kate's husband. Here we go. Kate, they did a little swap here. Kate's husband is on the far right over here. And then Kate's best friend.
Every other.
Yeah, it was. This is so they just like to, at this thing, they like to do this. So Niles is here.
And I'm 5 months pregnant in that picture.
I was going to ask you, because you look bigger than I've ever seen in this picture, so I assumed you were pregnant.
You were a little more fluffy than usual, I guess, is what he's saying.
Yeah, a little fluffier than usual.
Well, because Niles and my grandmother are very similar. Kate and my grandmother are very similar in just being, stick figure-ish, but I'm not saying that bad. I'm digging myself a hole, but
you are. And
I wondered if she was pregnant here. So Niles is obviously bald here. If I didn't,
I have a terrible pregnancy story about these stupid balls.
So Niles served. I also I want to show, obviously, and Niles came back, obviously, but Niles has lost a lot of friends and whatnot. So we want to honor them. My brother is obviously in the Navy and is currently in Italy and Sicily rather, but he will be coming home. So we wanted to just kind of do a Memorial Day kind of honor thing here at the beginning. And it's always been a big thing to me, because a couple of years ago on Memorial Day, I was doing a show and somebody came in the comments and just absolutely, I know we have people here that were watching. They came in the comments and just absolutely eviscerated me and told me, how dare me? I shouldn't be smiling. I shouldn't be happy. It's not Happy Memorial Day. And I'm just thinking, like, what? Get out of here. So I always make a big deal about it, obviously. But
well, and here's the thing. I'm always going to smile, because I have a lot of respect for the men and women who've sacrificed to allow me to smile. They would want me to smile. My dad wants me to be successful. My Uncle Joe my godfather wants me to be successful, wants to know that what they served and what they died for gave us the freedoms to be who we are today. So, we should be proud of what they've done, not sad for what we've lost, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's how what we need to be sad about is the people who have abused what they sacrificed.
Absolutely.
That's what we need
absolutely.
to be sad about.
Yeah. Yes.
You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
and I'm
yes.
not going to allow that,
Yes.
and people
Yes.
say to me all
Right
the
here.
time,
Okay.
you elected these people. No.
Absolutely.
I didn't
Well,
elect them, so I'm not going to tolerate them.
yeah. Yes. Well,
Right?
Stumblefoot had said, remind me why Memorial Day is so happy, and Kate gave the best answer here. Let me not mourn the men who have died, but let me rather rejoice that such heroes have lived. So yeah,
Right?
that is
And let us all live a life that says we appreciate what you sacrificed for us.
yes. Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
that's, and like when we go into these meetings, Christopher and I, it's like, don't tell me to sit down and shut up. I think about my dad. He fought so I could
Yeah.
speak up. Right.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it. So, it's unfortunate that people want to turn, because no one's lived my life of not having a
Sure.
father. Right.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. My father died when I was 9. But my father was never the same person after he returned after his 3rd tour.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the whole thing I want people to understand is I never knew my true father.
So yeah, absolutely.
Right? He was
Yeah.
a different man. And so that's just how it is. So
Yeah.
I am forever thankful. And again, would I serve if I was called? Absolutely.
Certainly.
So,
Yeah.
without hesitation.
Well, yeah, that's a
So
good
thank
way
you to
to
anybody who's watching.
absolutely.
Thank you for your service. And I always feel like while we do honor the people who have passed, we need to honor the people who are living too, because
Certainly.
they need to know they're appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a good place to kind of kick us into what's going on. So
The
you and I have been
government you
talking.
tolerate.
Yeah, you and I've been talking, and it's a phrase that you've said a lot. I've heard you say it a lot over the last several years, but it's a phrase that it was actually said before Jefferson, but it's in America it's been attributed to Thomas Jefferson, which is he said we get the politicians we deserve. And over the years, it's been we get the politicians or the government we deserve. And I myself have said that, but every time I say that, I'm like, that's not true because I don't deserve this and I'm doing something different. And you have had a story here recently because you had posted that on your social media. And to real quickly tell what's happening over the couple days, we've changed this.
So as many of you know, I have a very, very busy practice. And so I've had many people come in. They've asked me, hey, will you run again? Will you try this again? And I'm like, I've given the people 2 election cycles. To me, I believe everybody should run for election. So as my patients were coming in, they're like, listen, I voted for you. I'd go out, hey, I voted for you. And I'm like, well, and then they'd say, we read your Facebook post. It says you get the government you elect. We didn't elect these people. So as I was driving to my car one day, I thought, there's some truth to that. But then I asked myself, how many people are in meetings? I mean, we're watching this huge, massive thing with data centers right now coming into Madison County. And let me tell you, if the people do not show up, they're coming. I'm telling you that right now in Madison County. And so when I was thinking about that, it's like you get the government you tolerate, right? Because you can show up one day and vote, but what do you do in the other 364 days of the year? Or how about when it's, what are you doing when it's an off year? Now you're looking at 2 years of toleration. And so, are you running or are you just behind the keyboard beating up the people who are running and then putting out false claims? Because we all saw a lot of that go on, right? And at the end of the day, people, and I did give that concession speech that, it's time for me to get back to my practice. It's time for me to get back to my children. There is a misunderstanding somewhere here. And I want people to understand my children are not 9 or 12 or 15. They are not in their formative years.
Yeah.
My children are grown. Okay. And clearly when I tell you they have not been sacrificed, right? I mean, one's going to medical school. I'm pretty sure the other one's headed to law school. She's a little younger, but both of them speak 3 languages. They're well educated and they've watched this whole thing. And I guarantee you, we will see them, Kristopher, at some point. They will be either running for something or they will be speaking out about government at some point in their life. I just know that. And so, because they've watched this, I mean, literally 2 or 3 days ago, I was out on a walk with my daughter and she says, "Where's Kristopher at? I haven't heard you talk to him. And why aren't you podcasting?" And I'm thinking to myself, you guys are always like, get off of there. Don't do that.
Quit doing it. Quit doing it.
To know where he's at.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, we are, everybody who offers information, they read what you guys write on the screen, Admiral Stumblefoot, everybody who gets on here, and they take in all this information. And even though they don't like the way we approach it, they haven't lived in it like we have to say, how else are we going to approach it?
Here's the deal, though. They're also in, out of college or out of high school into the college years, and in that middle point of that. And I can remember my brother, who from a young age, I've been involved in this. My brother, who's in Sicily now in the Navy, he never cared. He never, I got out of school and would do the polling and would work the polls and do this and do that. He never did any of that. He never cared about it. I can remember talking to him when he was away at Purdue, and I was trying to tell him he needed to get registered and come back here and vote or do absentee, and he was never into it. He did not care. He said, why would I vote up here in Lafayette? I don't live up here. I live up here during college, but I don't know any of these people, and nothing affects me up here. And why would I vote back there? Because half the year I live up here and nothing back there affects me. So it's in that no man's land. But I will tell you, it was only 2 years outside of college, and he's calling me and like, man, I just got done listening to Rush Limbaugh, and he's like bitching about stuff, and he's like, I'm tired of this going on. He lived down in Texas, and he's like, I don't like this, I don't like that. And I thought, welcome to the real life, Andrew. And so it will hit them. It takes some time, but it'll hit them.
Well,
and they seem interested enough that they've got that bug, and maybe they'll serve in a different way, but it will hit them.
Well, I have to give it to them because they ran in the mini marathon for the Indy 500. And they told me, they said, "Hey, Mom, we just want you to know that you donated $300. I guess it's like $150 to even run in the thing."
Right.
And so I said, "Hey, while you guys are home, you need to go vote. And this is who you need to vote for." You know what both of them said to me? "If you think we're going to take your advice on who to go vote for, that's not happening. We do our own research and we will make our own decisions, and we will not share with you who we will vote for." So for anybody who thinks that my kids are brainwashed or anything like that, they are free thinkers. And I will tell you, my daughter just graduated with her master's, last weekend. My other one's going to be a senior in college. Yes, I don't mention their names and I don't mention where they go to school for their own privacy, but I want people to know, like, my kids, when I say I get back to them, it's just that they want me to put my phone down when I go up and see them at school.
I will say this. I will say, I don't think that I still think that I've appreciated and improved all of your runs. I still think that you're aiming in the wrong direction. I think that you should seriously consider giving one more shot and in that shot running for coroner. I would like to see that. That would be if I had the ability to direct what you do. And I can completely understand if you don't, but I think I would like to see that. I think that you would feel more comfortable in that race. I think that you've been comfortable in all of your other races, but I feel like running for coroner, it's so much more in your wheelhouse. After being in the position that you've been, I think that you would be able to serve the people of Madison County in that role in a way that it's almost like a coming home. And I do hope that maybe there's a consideration. And you know what? Maybe it's not in the next run. Maybe it's in 6 years or 8 years or whatever. I just hope at some point you give that a consideration.
Well, I will tell you, it's probably a hard no. For any more elections. I have stirred more pots than I think anybody ever has in Madison County.
Hey,
And
that's
you know, and I want to
doing
just
things
say,
from this side is okay too. So
yeah, and I just want to say, and maybe like you, this is one of those sides that I choose. But as I've stirred as much as I have, anything I touch, I'm going to be successful at. So anybody who's watching here who believes that my losses were not successful, oh, you're so wrong.
Oh yeah.
So wrong, because these runs have exposed them more than anything. I mean, when the person I'm running against is a third time incumbent, and he's spending 3 times the amount of money I am for an election, oh, I'm winning. Believe me, I'm winning. And the amount of people that I have been able to get involved. I mean, I'll tell you, down in Ingalls, there's a lady named Tandy. If you're not following her on social media, you really should. She is a big one who's moving this. Her name is Tandy. Let me see here. Tandy Holloway Jones. She is really moving these data centers. She's very involved. She's been buying signs. She's done a lot of things. They reached out to me when I was running. And so, that to me is the biggest win. If I can multiply us, Christopher, that's the huge win.
Yes,
right?
yes. That's what I always
So,
say. Yeah, absolutely.
As people, what's in my wheelhouse? So what's in my wheelhouse is that since I've been mixing so many recipes and I've been putting so many out there, I am trying to get together a web page and do more weight loss, because there's a huge need in this in the community, and we don't have many healthcare providers who are running those sites. Those are blindly being just written by people who kind of have a get quick scheme. So I just want people to know that, there are other things I'm going to be mixing, but it might be more with weight loss and other things like that in my wheelhouse. Sure. Also trying to think about launching a spiritual kind of web page on YouTube as well, because weight usually comes with things in the back of our head that make us eat more or comfort ourselves. Sure. So sometimes we got to get in touch to why we're doing those things. So that's kind of what I'm going at. But, I'm pretty much a hard no, but life kind of happens sometimes. And there's 5 very important people in my life, 5, and they would all have to be on board. And all 5 of them said, this better be your last run. So we'll see what happens. And sometimes my team of 5 get very irritated, and they may say, you know what, we got to do something. So it's 2 years will be here quick enough. That is when the coroner's roll will be here again. I just want to tell people have been asking me, how can I get involved, or how can my young person get involved now that they're out of college? School board is a great way. If you look, a lot of people have gotten their start in school board, right? Governor Braun got started in school board. Gaskell got started in school board. Now, what I will tell you is these politicians became very poor representatives of the people, and they've lost their way. However, you don't have to do that, even though you try out for the school board. But the school board might be the best way to get your foot wet. And you don't have to cover as big of a territory as if you're doing like a county run or you're doing something like that. So that's something to think about. You have to have your applications in by June 18th. So that is statewide. So I do encourage people that you can do that. Now, I was
wait. What?
For school board, you have to have your candidacy in by June 18th.
Oh, okay. Oh, you mean to filing?
Yeah. So if you want to do that, there's still time to get involved.
Yeah.
If you were sad because I lost, hey, do it that way. I mean, that's just what I encourage people to do. That's a great way to get involved. There's lots going on with there, and so that's one way to get started.
Absolutely. And so, the reason we're doing this, obviously, is we've been talking, and since you've been on the last month, a lot of things have happened since the election. Everything's been going on. There's been a lot of things going on, and just because you're what?
This is the big one with someone. Now you have to be
political. Absolutely. And it's ridiculous. That's thanks to JD Prescott, and
it's all about control, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
At the end of the day, it's all about control.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do? But as an independent Republican, I can say just about anything I want, and there's nothing they can do about me because I'm not in their cult. Right. So it is what it is. And that was my other big thing with my daughters, because they go, Mom, we don't know that we're really Republican. We don't know that we're really Democrats. And we have to go in there and pull a ballot.
Sure.
And, there was a lot of discussion over that. So I completely understand what they're saying. And just like Alva, I had a ton of people register to vote. Which it reminds me, if we talk about Diego, or no, if we talk, well, we can talk about Diego, but if we talk about it, I had a lot of Democrats who did pull Republican ballots this year.
Sure.
And because they wanted change, and they were behind me because of one reason. I'm not a Republican in good standing. They're like, well, we feel confident in voting for her. And I'm the only person they shot on their record. They weren't voting for any other Republicans. They were just voting for me. And so they felt confident in that. And so, but what happens is now they don't have their two runs if they want to run for something. And that's craziness within itself.
Yeah. That's a big thing. And, hopefully we can have a push where we get legislators back in office that one day can repeal that or change something there, because obviously the law as it's written currently in the state of Indiana says you need two. There's another way that you can do this, and that is you can approach your party chairman. However, so few of them actually will do that and sign off on you. So, hopefully something can be done in the future. I will tell people, though, if you're interested in running, like I know a couple people who have said that they are interested in running in next year's municipal election. So for those of you that are voting this year in this election that voted in May, and you'll be voting again in November. For those of you that live in the county, in the unincorporated areas of Madison County, of unincorporated areas of Delaware and Henry, and all of the unincorporated areas in the state of Indiana, you'll vote again in November, but then you will be done next year. You are taking a year off because it will be the city elections. So Muncie, Anderson, Winchester, Newcastle, Indianapolis. Those little small communities that make up the towns that do town councils, or the cities, the third and second class cities, will be voting for mayor, city court judge, city clerk, and city council. And I've had people that have reached out and said, hey, I voted in this primary, but I've never voted before, but I want to run next year. And I'm like, well, technically you can't do it. The only way that you can do that is to get your county chairman to sign off. And here's what you need to do. If I was in that situation, if I were one of these people, I would go to the party chairman today, tomorrow, Tuesday. Now, I wouldn't wait. I would go and I would say, listen, don't say I want to run. Say I want to get involved. How can I get involved? How can I help out? How can I do things? So they start to see you, start to know your face. You don't have to like those people. You don't have to agree with them, but you have to somehow get them to sign off on that paper. Because if you don't have those two primary polls, then the only other way you can do it is to get them to sign off. And a lot of people will wait until January of next year, and that's not going to work. You've got to get them knowing who you are now.
And what I want to say,
people need to do.
about Kelly Hewer in Madison County as the GOP, you know, it absolutely disgusts me that she is the GOP chair. And let me tell you why, because she's not a free thinker.
No.
And when she says right out of the gate, you know what, I'm not going to sign off on anybody who doesn't have their 2 Republican votes. I'm not going to make any exceptions. I've never seen anything more disgusting or disturbing from every elected official in Madison County than when we had the challenge just this past February. And there was like a 19 or 20-year-old kid who wanted to run for one of the small towns, right? And so she's like, nope, you don't have 2 Republican votes. And he's like, but I didn't have enough votes because of my age.
Yeah.
Right. And so this all or nothing mentality tells me that Kelly is not the person to be our GOP chair. You know, no, I am not okay with these people who've been Democrats for 45 years and then suddenly want to vote one Republican and then you sign off or something like that. No, but you know what? If we want young people to be involved, this is exactly the people you should be signing off. And the fact that you cannot think outside of the box and get up there and try to fight for a young person like that, shame on you. And the fact that Gaskell never came out for this kid and his kids are all over, you know, the young Republicans. Nick Freeman, he's running for school board. He wants to be so involved. He wants to show everybody that he's adopted a kid and what a great person he is. Well, where were you when this kid needed help?
Yeah.
I mean, this was a legitimate kid. And if you would have seen this kid at the podium, he deserved a chance. You know, will we see him again? I don't know, because I would be so disgusted after the way he was treated.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing is so many people want to be in the process, and it takes a lot of effort to fight that and to stand up and to do this, and then to get kicked in the teeth. Now, what I would say is that is part of the political way. So I hope people who that experience that, they are willing to fight back and to stand up and say, okay, you know what? I will vote next May and then I'll be back, you know, and I'll do what I need to do and you won't be able to stop me. That's what we need to see. We need to see that fight. Right. But there are people that get discouraged and, there's I see it both ways. If you can easily be discouraged from that, then maybe you aren't the right fit. But at the same time, we need to be welcoming those people in. In Delaware County, we had a guy that was running in District 34, Randall McAllister, and the party, this is my opinion, not his, the party shit on him and they just pushed him away and did whatever they could. And he was running against Richard Ivey. And I just feel like the party did whatever they could to make him feel belittled and small or whatever. And he has a lot of smarts when it comes to the ground game, walking. He's worked with a lot of national campaigns. And in my mind, I see that. And I'm like, that's something that the party needs to be welcoming him in and picking his brain and helping, ingratiating themselves to him and bringing him in, because maybe he's not the right person to run for office. Maybe he's somebody that helps behind the scenes. Maybe he becomes, part of the, a secretary for the party, but you're supposed to bring those people in and use them.
The party.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Very much.
Who's going to support the candidates, who's going to be able to run the ground game for every candidate he's got, who's going to be able to put candidates into seats.
Yep.
That's your party chair.
Yep. But
not
just like
Tim Overton, who picks and chooses and acts like a dick.
Listen, you saw the total loss of control that Kelly is not a leader by any means when Jonathan Colbrand.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
Like that. Yeah. I mean, that was just an awful move, whatever. I mean, that whole fiasco. And then now that we watch the election board, I just am disgusted, because for the election board, Kelly Hewer puts that person as a Republican representative.
Yeah. I want to hit this guy's comment here real quick. This Micah Lawrence. Says, I too had to get my chairman to sign off due to my age and not voting in 2 primaries. I'm glad I had a different experience. I did need elected officials to vouch for me for my name to be on the ballot. Other counties should be proud to have the next generation stepping up. And absolutely, sir. Where are you running for?
What county was he from?
What county are you running? If you don't mind saying, you don't have to, but
that's the thing. We've got to get these young people involved and engaged.
Yeah.
I mean, and we've got to support them. And, when you see that Gaskell's got his kids running, and then you've got Kelly Gaskell getting on there going, but Catherine's attacked my kids and acting like they're teenagers. Your kids are grown people in their 40s. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, right. Right.
Don't put them on the ballot then, I guess.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy to me.
It's those Nepo politicians.
Nonsense. Yeah.
I mean, it's just what it is. And so it's just a lot to watch in Howard County.
I'm in Howard County running for Center Township trustee, which is the heart of Kokomo. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's great, bro.
Looks like, from what I'm seeing on his Facebook, it looks like he was unopposed in the primary, but he had more votes than all the Democrats put together.
All right.
That's good.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're running. I'm glad you're here. I hope that you stick around. I've not done a whole much. So we focus on local, state, and national politics here. But local and state is the primary. I've not done a lot from the Kokomo or Howard County area. We used to have a gentleman that watched quite a bit from Howard County, and we would talk about a few things. But if you're willing to stick around, I'd be willing to, highlight that and have you come on and talk with you, because I'm definitely all about trying to get younger people involved and try to get this mix and encourage them. And I see that you're watching on Facebook, which is cool. But if you can think about it, maybe jump over to YouTube, give us that subscribe, and that would be cool. But yeah, we love, I'm glad you're here. I appreciate it. And it's all about trying to bring the people in. Really quickly, before we move on, I want to just hit a quick break spot. So if I can hit this, and then we'll come back and we'll continue on. So just 1 second here, please.
This is my thought. If you talk with teachers, or if you have high school kids, this is what I would encourage, because I don't think we do a good enough job involving the teenagers. But if I were a government teacher and I was over that, what I would do is I would tell my students, they all have to register to vote. That would be one thing. And then as their project for them to be involved, if it's during an election year, they have to pick a candidate locally, or if they want to pick somebody in the state, that's fine. They have to pick a candidate. They have to research it. And then before the election, they have to present on this candidate to their classroom. And then they have to, on election day, work the polls in their area for that candidate. Because I think that would give them a great experience.
That would be interesting, specifically
you know what I'm saying? I mean, you get them involved in the local politics. They understand what's going on, but so they can pick somebody at the state level. They can pick, because, and what made me think of that is I was outside my office and I was fixing a sign.
Mm-hmm.
And the lapel track team, I don't know, they acted like they were running cross country, came running across my yard. And these young kids put their thumb up and they said, "We will be voting for you on election day." Now, I have no idea who these kids are, but
yeah,
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
This past week, I went in to do a sports physicals because we offer them for $25 at our office for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked into the room and he goes, "You're that girl." And I go, "Well, who would I be?" And he goes, "You're Katherine Callahan, aren't you?" And I'm thinking, well, yeah, it says it on the door. And I said, "Yes." And he said, "I've read about you. I've seen you." And so I said, "Well, did you vote?" And he goes, "No, I'm not political." But he was of age. And so, boy, did he get a lecture of a lifetime from me, right? And so, but the thing is I know I'm making a difference because I went up to the fish fry while I was running and I was sitting there trying to eat my food. And a dad came over and he said, I'm sorry to bother your dinner. And I'm like, well, no, I come to these fish fries just so I can talk to everybody.
Yeah.
And I said, absolutely. And he says, my daughter over there, she was 15 or 16. He said, she's too shy to come over and say something to you. She goes, but she wanted me to make sure I came over and told you that I would be voting for you. And I said, well, I appreciate that. And he says, she watches everything you post. She watches all your podcasts, and you really have made a difference and been influential. That to me, people, that's the win.
Yeah.
Right. Those are the wins, and I had another young couple, they came up and they said, hey, can we interrupt you? And I said, sure. And they said, can we take a picture with you? And I'm like, okay. And they go, our mom votes for you. She advocates for you, but she can't come out. She's too sick to come out. And she would just be tickled pink if we went home with a picture of you. Those are the wins, people. It's not about, we're not going to win every war, but I guarantee you, Kristopher and I are going to win the battle. We're going to see change in government. It's coming. And slowly we have been watching it evolve, so just be mindful of, you make a difference even when you're posting, and the people who vote such hateful stuff about me, you make me a lot more popular and credible.
Yeah. Well,
because when the person puts on there, Catherine's this awful person, and somebody says, so you've met her and you've went to her practice. Well, no, but I have the right to say something about her.
Well, right.
They're like, no, I've never met her before. Bonus. I mean, this is the reality of it. So as Stumblefoot said, you got to have thick skin for this game. Listen, you got to have more than even leather for this. You got to have steel armor. It is something else.
Yeah. So for the people from Madison County over the last month since the election has been over, and we're now kind of in the cooling off period, waiting, it'll basically not happen until we'll kick back into high gear in about August, September. But what are some of the
strong Democrats running?
What are some of the big things that have been going on over there that people need to be aware of?
Well, first of all, let's take care of a little bit of business. I just want everybody to know, because I have ADHD. For you cross watchers and everybody else who's watching this, make sure you hit the thumbs up button for this. We only have 15, and we've got well more than that watching the show. So make sure you're hitting the thumbs up, because that helps Kristopher. It helps bump his show. So we would appreciate it if you did that. And guess what? It's completely free. So please hit that thumbs up if you can. Right. So, and subscribe or join if you'd like. So I will put that through, because somebody was asking me for the link. So that's why I'd gotten on there. So lots of things are taking place in Madison County. I don't know if everybody has been watching what's been going on in Madison County since we had all this going on. But if you caught the last election board meeting, and I don't know if Nicole is still watching, if she can send that clip, but Michelle Daniels has got to go.
Yeah.
People, and let me tell you something. Linda Smith has got to go. Okay. The battle isn't over yet. We still have one more election to go through in November. You can still turn the tide. And here's the thing. This is an open ticket now. You're going to go in. You get to pick and choose. Now, some of you, we've got to quit looking at this all Democrat, all Republican, we got it's all or nothing. And what's so unfortunate is too many people go in and just do a straight ticket and don't even look at it, just throw it through. I mean, you got to cast educated votes. You just have to, and I don't really care who's watching this show. If you want to record this, if you want to screenshot my Facebook because Katherine plugged a Democrat, ask me if I care. I really don't, because I'm always going to plug the best candidate. We cannot live with Linda Smith anymore. People, 40 some blank ballots were casted. We have all these poll workers, and you mean to tell me that these people aren't watching over and saying this person's got a blank ballot? And I don't know what people did not check their ballots. when you were putting it in there. I took a picture of all mine. Now, let me explain to you. I think I only voted for 4 people in the race. Right? I skipped. And a lot of people, Christopher, didn't even know you could skip.
That's insane.
You don't have to vote in that section, right?
Yeah.
And, you can single shot somebody. When it says you pick 8, you can single shot somebody and give them a lot more power because you didn't vote for anybody else. I mean, look at Nicole. Nicole whipped the pants off of Chloe Aganos. I call her Agony, Kyle Pierce's wife, and as patients are coming in and they're talking to me, they're like, we don't even want a Kyle Pierce sign in our yard because of how his wife speaks to people on social media, especially you. So when she's out there thinking she's being cute and thinking more people are joining her because of me, believe me, there's a whole lot more people who are sitting in silence, who aren't saying anything and watching your behavior and are supporting me. And how do I know? I didn't lose by some huge margin on this race by any means.
No.
Right? So there's like 4,000 people who want my voice.
That seems to be a trend where candidates are losing votes because of things that their supporters are saying.
Oh, and their spouses. Absolutely.
I wouldn't even say their supporters. I'd say like spouses,
their
family members. Yeah, direct like people that really need to be shutting up. And like go out there and push, but don't do any negative. Let other people do negative.
Well, here's the thing. Just like Kelly Gaskell got on there and she's like, it's time for me to speak up for my husband. Listen, who do you think put you up to it? Like,
yeah, right.
Hello. He's not going to do it. Of course not.
But
you're going to do it and your kids can't do it because they're on the ballot.
That's the number one reason I told my ex-wife when I was married, Joni and I would be talking about things. Joni was very vocal. She was an intelligent woman. She was very smart and had a voice and an opinion. And I would never stop her from speaking or saying what she wanted to say. She was free to say whatever she wanted to say. What I did not want her to do is I did not want her to fight my battle. Okay. I did not want her to fight my battle. So don't get on and defend me. You can get on and say, I support him or this or that, but don't go crazy fighting my fight and doing all of that. And because number one, I'm a big boy, but number two, that's the first thing people think is, oh, that's him from her account, or he put her up to that. And I wasn't going to have any of that shit. Micah, we have not talked about that. We're going to talk about that here in just a little bit, but we have not covered that. We will get there. We are going to talk about that, sir. So yes, hang around if you can, or if not, come back and check us out on replay, but we will get there.
But, we have to do better on these election board meetings. And I got to give it to Rebecca Crooms. And I don't know if she is watching, but, Rebecca Crooms is a seasoned politician who really does fight for the people. And she wants justice and what's right. And I mean, every time I watch Miss Crooms, I think to myself, they treat her like Rosa Parks. Get to the back of the room.
Yes.
Turn off your camera. Don't you speak. And I am just so over watching that disgusting behavior, not just from Michelle Daniels, but Tim Lannon and from Linda Smith. Every one of them are equally responsible for how people are treated in that room. Now, you can't sit in the first 3 rows.
Yeah.
And if you watch the lecture, if you guys have not seen it, you need to watch it, because what they do is they start talking and they put their hands over their mouth so you can't even read their lips or hear them. I mean, it's what is going on? And then people said they need better microphones. People, you need to understand, about 1.5 years ago, there used to be microphones that were up and you could visibly see them. They got a whole new microphone system, and it's flat on the dais. It's there. And so for anybody who thinks they don't have it, it's all there. Now, what some people can do, if you're watching, and this is what we like to do, is give you pearls, you can put in a records request for the audio from the microphone.
Yeah.
And it does pick it up. I mean,
Yeah.
you can get it. They can give it to you on a flash drive. So, those are the big things that, you keep watching the abuse. And then in this last one, Michelle Daniels was spewing stuff like literal vomit out of her mouth. And
Yeah.
Miss Krim says, well, what law is that? And she's like, well, I don't know what law it is. I mean, you just have to do it. It's just the law. And we're
it's because Rebecca, and I love Rebecca, one of my favorite people on this planet. Rebecca was asking a question, and she was saying that they couldn't answer. They're not going to answer them. That they weren't allowed to answer them. And she was like, well, why is that? And she said it's a law. And she was like, well, what law is it? And she's like, I don't know. You just can't. That's ludicrous to me. I've never heard of that. I told Catherine, I've attended lots and lots and lots of election boards. And listen, a lot of election boards throughout the counties suck. They're all bad. There's a bunch of them that are bad. But even the bad ones have answered questions. There's not a law that says election boards can't answer questions. They most certainly can. They can when they're testing the machinery. They can when they're counting the ballots and when they're certifying the results. There's nothing that stops them from answering questions. And if those people are telling them that, that's shame on Kelly and shame on the Democrats for putting these people up there that are saying this shit and they don't get in trouble. If Kelly Hewer was worth anything, she would publicly I'm going to say publicly humiliate, but I would publicly let that woman know that is not right. You are here to meet the public where they are, and you need to be answering questions. That's ridiculous that she would say that.
Right. Christopher, I just sent you something in Messenger. I'm going to talk a little bit. You might want to take a peek at that because we probably need to talk about that.
Yeah, sure.
So I think that's breaking news. And Ms. Crooms actually just sent that to me. So the thing with Kelly Hewer, though, is that she doesn't respond to people's texts. She's not responding to people's emails. She's not giving people good guidance as far as when they need to pay their dues to be a state delegate, because, if they don't pay their dues in time, then she can give those seats to people who didn't win, like Chloe. So it's going to be real interesting to see who does show up for the state delegate, because there were some new people who just didn't know what they had to do in order to confirm that state delegate seat. And that's unfortunate. I know that both Nicole and Larry Savage had to figure it out on their own because either Kelly Hewer has them blocked or she won't respond to them. Either way, Kelly, I'm not going to get into the semantics. The bottom line is you should be able to get back to anybody within 24 hours. It's the role you signed up for. You volunteered for it. You need to do your job, and you need to get over yourself. Just because you don't like somebody, just because they don't follow your beliefs, that is not what is important here. What's important here is that you're a good representation of the Republican Party. And to me, that type of behavior is a Republican in bad standing. And these type of people need to be moved along and get off of any type of political agenda or committee, because you're not here to serve everyone. You're here to serve your cult, and that's a problem. So even when people reach out to me who might have said things about me on social media, I may have had differences with those people, I still show up and answer their questions. I don't by any means, not answer them. And that's what kind of representation the people need, right? And so that's kind of my big thing with all of that. You couldn't really, and here's the thing, even the legal teams won't help you. And that's what's so sad about all of that, is that this is such a cult that they're even protected that way. So I encourage people to attend county election boards. I know they only give us a 48-hour window. I know that they always do it during working hours, but it's just going to be important. And if you can't make it, send your grandparents, send somebody who's retired, send your neighbor who's retired. Doesn't matter. You just got to fill the seats.
And if you can't go, I mean, look, I get it. There are people that can't go always, all the time. Think about this. Think about this. The people who the people who we're talking to primarily are the people who are posting on social media. They're Republicans and or Democrats, and they're out here saying like, we're ready for. I was talking to Katherine about this the other night. We're ready for revolution. We're ready to tear it down and start again. And we're like, but listen, you can't go to a meeting. You can't get to an important meeting. Like, people take off work for a lot of crazy things because it's nice outside, because they're going to go to the reservoir, because they want to take off a Friday and have an extra long weekend. It's like, that's cool. That's fine. And I'm not telling you or saying that you got to take off every Monday and go to every commissioner's meeting, or you got to go to every election board meeting or whatever. But sometimes there are things that are important that you might just need to take a few hours, take paid time off, take vacation day, whatever, and attend a meeting. And I'm so proud that I heard there were more people at this last Delaware County Commissioners meeting that I went to last Monday because of this tax thing, that I heard either tell the commissioners, or they were mentioning out in the hall, hey, I'm really supposed to be at work, but I took time off to be here. And I've never really heard that from a lot of people. And I was actually happy to hear that. So that was good. But, for all you people out there saying like you're ready for the revolution, you might want to slow your horses. If you can't even get to a meeting, you're probably not going to burn anything down, hang anybody up in a tree, or kill anybody. So just relax a little bit with all that,
And just so Niles knows, I'm just glad he noticed that I washed my hair. I did try to curl it in a hurry today, but thank you, Niles, for noticing. I'll wear it straight the next time I'm on the show. But the big thing is, this last election board meeting was for provisionary ballots, and I'm not sure, Kristopher, that everybody understands the importance of that. And you want to explain to people, because I tried to do it in a rush.
So really quickly, I want to double check. Who is this? Liv Moore? Yes. Who?
She reached out to me a little bit before I came on the show. She's
okay. So she said it was you. You were who she's talking about.
She was very interested in some of the things going on in Madison County. She'd seen my signs. She'd been kind of following along for a while.
I love it.
And so I said, watch Kristopher's show, because we speak about a lot of concerns that people have questions for. And that's why you had said we got to do a show, because there's so much going on in Madison County.
Yeah, I love it.
So,
I just want to, we've had a couple new people, and I love new people, and hang out, subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. And we love
button.
it. So that's fantastic. Anyways, you ask about provisional ballots, and we've been having a thing going on, and I've been talking about Knightstown down in Henry County, and that's why I tell people that when I'm speaking about a specific area, it might be a little boring for people. Like right now, I'm sure there are people in Delaware County, they don't give a damn about Madison County. I get it. You don't know the people's names. You don't know what's actually going on. But there's more to it. You gotta block out the names. What?
Yeah, you still learn.
It's the actions. It's what's happening can happen the same in these different counties. It might not be the same in Ohio. I get that, but at least statewide, everything's running basically the same. State law dictates how it happens, county to county to county. So a lot of people don't understand that when the election happens, we're all excited. Ooh, it's election night. Give us the votes. Tell us who won. And they come out and they say, okay, it's projected that Donald Trump is going to win over Kamala Harris. Gaskell has defeated Callahan. Those things that they're saying, even when they say all votes are in, all precincts are accounted for, everything is counted, and it's official. Callahan was defeated by Gaskell, whatever. Okay. On election night, even when they say that, and even when one candidate concedes to the other and all that happens, that is not the official final. That is all unofficial totals. It is not until the election board of each county certifies that election that it's ran down, because this is what happens. When So after the election occurs, by law, the election board of each county has a certain number of days, they've only got like 10 days by law that they have to certify the results. And so what that means is they go and they have a meeting, and that's when they take on any extra military ballots. Like my brother who is in Sicily, okay, when he voted, his military ballot might not have got to his county until after election day. Well, his ballot can still be counted as long as it happens before they certify it. So for example, in Henry County, the Henry County Election Board received a military ballot I think the day of their meeting. Their meeting was like at 1:00 on a Friday, and they received it that morning, which means they were still permitted to count it. So they opened it up and they counted it. And I talked about this the other day. If you go to for example, I just moved, okay? So on election day, if I would have, this didn't happen for me, but let's say you move right around it and you go to your polling place and you say, hey, I live at 123 Main Street. And they say, well, we don't have you there. We have you at, 645 West Street. And you're like, oh, that's my old address. Well, they're like, well, you're supposed to go back there because you weren't here. And you're like, no, I'm voting here. They can try to tell you to go. But at the end of the day, if you want to vote where you're at, they have to let you vote. But they won't let you vote on the regular machines. They will let you vote on what's called a provisional ballot. So you will vote on a provisional ballot. And then you have a certain period of time that you have to prove that you're good. And as long as you're able to prove that, then they will count that provisional ballot on the day that they're going to certify the votes. And a lot of times this don't matter. If somebody beats somebody by like 1,000 on election night, there's a difference between 1,000. It's probably not going to make a difference. This is the perfect example. Down in Knightstown on election day, the woman that was running for clerk down there in Knightstown, she received 238 votes. The incumbent, the man, received 235. On the day that they certified the votes, they counted the provisional ballots, and one of the provisional ballots voted for the man. So his vote total increased. So instead of her winning by 3 votes, she only won by 2 votes. Now, that vote's going to have to be thrown out. They're going to do a special election because of what happened there. But the point is, that meeting is very important because things can change, because they can decide to throw some absentee votes out depending on if they don't have the initials or things right, and they open provisional ballots and all of that. So that meeting is very important.
Well, and Christopher, when I was talking to Ms. Crooms, she brought up some great points. She said she noticed like signatures, they have to match the signatures and all of that stuff. And she says, we've got a much elderly population. And so maybe their original signatures don't match because maybe they have Parkinson's, or maybe they have a tremor now, or maybe something. And how exactly are we notifying these people? Because this is when they can throw it out and you think you voted, but then they didn't like your signature or something. Well, and so are we sending it by certified mail? And it seems like we only had a handful of those. I mean, if Michelle Daniels can make it a point to knock on people's doors that have my sign in their yard, perhaps she should take that time and go knock on the doors of people whose signatures are there and tell them to attend the meeting.
She probably shouldn't be knocking on people's doors with your sign. That's probably what shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, right?
But
And so
but they need to do better about noticing people. And I want to hit this guy here. We got a new person. I don't know what's going on. That's a little interesting. So I like that. I like new people. Jeff, I don't know if that's your actual name, Gallahue. I don't know if that's your name or not, but Jeff, welcome. I would assume it is. I hope that you hit the subscribe. You say that you're new to Anderson. Again, I don't know if you heard when we were telling the young man that was here that's running in Howard County. We cover local, state, and national politics. We here at the Political Spotlight are live 5 nights a week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We generally take Friday and Saturday off unless something big is happening, then we'll be live. So we're live 5 nights a week, Sunday through Thursday, and we cover local, state, and national politics with a major focus on state or local and state. So that's there. But I'm from Muncie, Delaware County. Katherine is from Madison County. My producer is from Winchester, Randolph County. And we focus on mostly East Central Indiana. So if you're interested in following what's going on, follow Katherine's page, follow mine. You're going to like some of the things we say. You're not going to like some things we say. We're all adults here, and we're going to disagree.
Some of it's harsh. The truth can get very uncomfortable. I mean, that's just the reality of it.
Yeah.
And you'll see that there are times where the three of us don't always agree.
Absolutely.
But we're adults and we deal with it. And after the show, we might hash some things out, but nobody's, taken off the other's head or anything. You can have uncomfortable conversations and still get along with people. I mean, Kristopher's a libertarian and I'm a Republican, but just but
you're a Republican in bad standing, damn it.
Right. But there is, which I want to put this out there in Madison County. People, I could do a show for 3 weeks every night on everything that's going on in Madison County and still not get you caught up. Okay. So there is a gentleman by the name of Mike Geringer who is right. See, I know when they're in the closet. Okay, everybody, I know. And so he is running. He was one of the people who didn't have 2 Republican votes. Now, that is questionable because he voted a long time ago in a primary, but at that time they didn't record Republican Democrat. But because he wasn't for sure, and it'd been almost 20 years, I think, he just was unwilling to say absolutely for sure that's what he had done. And kudos for him to be that honest.
Yeah,
right?
dude, because he could have just lied.
Yep.
That's amazing.
So now Kelly Hewer wouldn't allow him to sign off because she did not want a contested race because she was running her person who has been the treasurer, but now he's termed out. So now he's coming over to commissioner. He wouldn't say anything for anybody or defend anybody that needs help.
Wait, did you say that backwards?
What?
You mean he was commissioner, now he's going to
No, he was treasurer. Now he's going to be commissioner.
Who?
No, this is Dan Gert.
Oh, I don't even know who the hell that is.
So this is down in District 1. So Mike Geringer is running and he's got to get 1,000 signatures. Yeah. Now I got to give it to him. He's knocked on a lot of doors. He's got 500 signatures because not everybody's going to sign this thing.
When's he going to have those?
He has to have them before the end of June. I do have a thing at my office, or you can reach out to him and he'd be happy to come to you. But he needs 1,000 signatures of registered voters in Madison County.
He needs 1,500 or 2,000.
Right. So he's working on that. And, again, so that is, if you want to be involved and want to help him, that is a great way to be involved and help get him some signatures so he can be on the ballot. And, but we'll have to run as an independent. He's got a long road ahead of him, but I got to give it to him because he hasn't given up. So good for him. He does go attend the meetings. He does talk about those meetings. He does try to get up and speak at the podium. So that is good for him.
Who is it?
Mike Geringer.
Is he that guy?
What you're concerned with, Kristopher, is that Rick Gardner, who has been on the council, who was our auditor for over 8 years, who ran for commissioner, has been in the seat for 2 years, took quite a heavy pay cut to be a commissioner. And we all know that generally he doesn't pay his property taxes, but we wouldn't know because he's removed all the property taxes. So we can't see if he's paying his property taxes on time. Yeah. None of us know if he ever fixed his arrears for property taxes. And we still kept putting him in his seat, which I don't think anybody who's behind on their property taxes should be able to even be an elected official or run, to be honest with you. That should be an automatic no, they can't do it. So anyway, so for people who've just moved here, if you Google that about Rick Gardner, you'll see he has quite a lengthy history of skirting around his property taxes. And then if you look, his properties never go up in value, but ours do. And so there's issues with that too. So anyways, we didn't have anybody running for treasurer. And then we had kind of an independent Republican come out and run, but he didn't have enough votes. So they took him off the ballot. Rick slid in there. He wasn't contested. He's now going to be the treasurer because I don't think they have a Democrat who's running as a treasurer, which maybe somebody will come out at the last minute and do that. So now we're going to have a caucus in January when Rick takes over as treasurer, right? That'll be for District 2.
What a ridiculous bunch of bullshit that is.
And so this is the shell game in Madison County, how they do this. But then Rick will get a pay raise by going to treasurer. So I just want you to know, even though he's filed bankruptcy and he doesn't pay his property taxes, we're not going to let him be treasurer. But hey, you let him be the auditor for 8 years too. Doesn't make sense to me. Kind of totally blows my mind. And this isn't Catherine talking bad about somebody. Go look it up in my case. It's all sitting there. I've just done the homework. This doesn't make me a bad person for telling you the truth. I mean, I just wouldn't have somebody like that over my stuff. Who sued
you next?
Right? I mean, it'll be another cease and desist. It'll be, I mean, I get that all the time. And here's the thing, people. If I really, and Kristopher's the same way, if we really were putting out false information, don't you think after all these years of doing this, we've already been sued?
Yeah, that's the thing that kills me.
You know, I mean, people file stuff, but I mean, where are we going with this? For me telling the truth and showing you receipts? I mean, the latest thing is Scott Mellinger. He's all upset because we showed that he's got 2 Republican votes. Well, he was this diehard Democrat. He's been a state rep as a Democrat. He's been the sheriff as a Democrat. And you're upset because I told the truth and I should cease and desist?
I don't understand.
I mean,
I don't understand. Because listen, you know that the Geringers, his wife Jamie or Jessica or Jenny or whatever her name is, you know that she and or he will be watching. And I just want to ask this. What do I have to do to get sued? I want your attorney to send me a letter. What do I got to do to get sued here? What do I got to do to get a letter sent to me?
Well, I mean, I guess
I got to say Scott's really a Democrat.
Well, I mean, you know, Scott's he was a Democrat sheriff, right?
Yeah, yes. I know him. Mean, I've known him.
He's got a lengthy history in politics.
Yeah,
now, do you know that he's voted twice as a Republican?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so let me ask you this. Maybe this will get you sued. Let me see. Is he going to support Norm Rayford, the Democrat sheriff candidate?
I want to know.
Or is he going to represent Beeman?
I want to know.
Now, but be careful with your words.
Yeah, I want to know, who is he going to represent? Is he going to represent Beeman, or is he going to represent? And I don't know anything about Rayford. We'll have to talk to him or whatever. Maybe he's a good guy. I'm not saying he's not. I don't know anything about him.
Rayford, I love Rayford. He's great.
I don't know that I've ever met him.
He's been with APD. He's been a detective.
Oh, okay. So he is a cop. He's not one of these guys that's running.
He's been a cop with
wild.
APD for
I can't
30 years. I
used to know a lot of them, but I can't.
You would probably know him if you saw him.
Okay.
And so he's been around a long time, and I like him a lot. And everybody here who's been on here, you're fully aware that I put a $25,000 reward out for Steve Sumner's. You're fully aware that I was lied to, that I was supposed to pay the daughter who helped Steve Sumner be on the run. And Beeman totally lied about me. And it was broken right here on Christopher Bilbrey's show, right? That I was misled and I was told the wrong person. And so that's a dirty cop. I can't get behind that. So I will get behind Rayford. Not because Rayford's a Democrat, because Rayford has never lied to me. And I dealt with him significantly when I was a coroner.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, and so for people to say she's supporting a Democrat candidate, I'm supporting an honest candidate. For me, I mean, that's why he hasn't done anything to me. Now, maybe somebody else is.
Give him time.
I'm supporting. Same thing with Stephanie May. Some people have a problem with Stephanie May Stanis, and she's running for clerk against Linda Smith. But I'll tell you this, Stephanie's never lied to me. If I've asked her a question, she's been nothing but honest. And some of you don't like her language. Some of you don't like her delivery. Well, you know what? What that tells me is she's going to go into that clerk's office. And if there are things that need to be exposed, she's not afraid. And that's what we have to have. You have to get past all the other part. You have to say, can this person do the job? They may not deliver it the way people don't like. You know how many times people tell me they don't like my delivery? Here's a newsflash for everybody. Sometimes I don't like my delivery. I don't know how else to say it. Right?
Yeah.
So
what's that thing?
Say what you mean. Mean what you say.
My wife
just don't say it mean.
My ex-wife had a cuff that said something like, you really know you're a bitch when you can't even stand what you're saying, or something like that. And I was like, yes.
And quite frankly, a lot of the times I don't like it because I'm like, what is it going to take to wake up the voters?
Uh-huh.
Like, I'm so sick and tired of people telling me that these people are nice people. Okay, they might be nice people to your face, but they're not good people. There's a difference. I mean, these people shouldn't even have the 10 Commandments in the courthouse because they don't even follow it.
Yeah, right.
Right? And so I know we've gotten off on this other tangent, but I want to show you, Christopher, I sent those to you. Back to provisional ballots. Yes, stay with me, people. Back to the provisional ballots. There are some examples up there that I want to just a few of those. But this is so true right here. This doesn't make me a bad person for telling the truth. Right there. I know you won't like it sometimes. Listen, Christopher doesn't always like to tell the truth either, but it has to be said.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like we have these I gotcha moments that we want to do that. I mean,
there are things that I say. There are times that I come on the show and talk about things that I don't want to talk about. There are times that I come on here. Listen, the other day was one of those days when someone said, man, you said you were going to just do a few minutes on Amber and you ripped her for like an hour. And I was like, yeah, because when I got into it, I like unloaded. And let me tell you, that's the first time I've really unloaded on her, and she's really disappointed me. I didn't enjoy that because I have considered Amber a friend. And I still, in the back of my mind, consider her a friend. I want her to change what she's doing. And listen, you can care. The number one thing I never wanted to do to my parents was disappoint them. I didn't care. You could ground me, or when I was a little kid, spank me or whatever. I never really did that because I was a good kid, believe it or not. But I never wanted to disappoint. I never wanted to feel like I was disappointing my mom or my dad or my grandparents or whatever. And that's the thing. And so to me, that is a very big thing. So you can care about someone, you can love somebody and be disappointed in them. And I care about Amber as a friend, but I'm at a distance now because of her behavior, and I'm disappointed in the way that she's becoming, in the way that she is. And so sometimes you have to let people know, yo, I don't like this, and I'm not happy with what's happening. And maybe we'll never be friends again, and I'm fine with that if that's the way she chooses to go. If she wants to change things and do things differently, it's kind of like a drug addict or whatever. You don't stop loving the person, you just stop engaging in being an enabler.
And what I want people to understand is, at the end of the day, we're unwilling to sell our souls. I think I can say that about all of us. That, Kate, myself, and Christopher, we're just unwilling to sell our souls. But please understand this, people. You get, and I'm going to say this on behalf of Christopher, whether he likes it or not, you get the Katherine or Christopher you deserve.
Yep.
So if you don't like it, then do the right thing. Same thing for you, Scott. If you don't like it, then why don't you go in there and vote Democrat and be the person you are? I mean, you just promoted Joey Cole over Beeman. That'll probably get me in trouble, but he did. He walked with him in the parades. He did everything. So that was in 22. So now are you going to walk with Rayford and support him as the sheriff, knowing what Beeman's doing to the officers over there in the jail. I mean, literally, Beeman has taken a captain of 30 years who makes over $80,000 a year. And because he supported his best friend, who he's worked with probably for over 30 years, the sheriff's department, Brian Bell, he put him over in transport in the jail. I don't know where you take a road officer with that much experience who can really probably diffuse a lot of situations out there and put him in such a position. I mean, and then tell him it's personal. And here's the thing. Am I going to be in a bad standing because I'm telling the community what's going on? We should all be concerned about an $80,000 with 30 years of experience, because you know what's going to happen? The guy's going to retire on us. We're going to lose all that. We're going to pay pension, and then we're going to pay a whole lot more when we have to bring somebody in and orient them and do some stuff. So that's the whole thing with that. But
what's happening here with this picture?
Okay. So this one, should any of us be concerned that there is no candidate that filed, but we had ballots counted?
Now, Kate, all right, now hold on here, because I wanted to talk to you about this, because I know you brought this up. So I have the
this
spinning
is part of the
ball
provisional ballots, people. That's just so you know. That's kind of what I would bring it up, Christopher.
Okay, yeah. No, so I've got this damn spinning ball of death over here. I'm trying to get this so we can see this a little bit more. So basically, what that's okay. Here we are. So what that says is this is the representative for Summitville Town Council District 1. And so what it looks like here, I'm going to put this up on the screen so we can see it a little bit better. So it says Summitville Town Council District 1, no candidate filed. Total votes cast, 32. So,
and see right above it is at large. They had 39. So I sent you another picture to give you a comparison. So the picture I just sent you just now, this is the Republican. I sent you the Democrat one. And, Democrats always get a bad rap. But I will say to you on that one, they had no candidates filed. And we had, and here's the thing, when you cannot ask questions in an election board meeting, you got to figure it out on your own. This is a problem, people.
Well, that's the problem. So when you have Rebecca Crooms, who is saying that she's in the election board meeting and she is there with questions here and wanting to ask questions, and now here's the Democrat, okay, and so this is the Democrat thing. This is when details matter. Remember when the election
this is another one.
Election was won by one vote.
Right.
Oh, wait. Is this the one you're asking?
If you look above, no candidate file has 0. If you look at the
total
Democrat
votes cast.
But this one, originally in the preliminary numbers, she had only won by 1 vote. But after they did the provisional ballots, she won by 3 votes.
Okay, so that's a situation where, like I was talking about. So what they did is they either somebody lost absentee ballots that didn't fit, or a provisional ballots were counted. Yeah, that's why it's important to go to those things. But now my question is, Kate, is this a situation? Why would we be seeing this? Why? It's weird to me that we would be seeing the same clerk's office having 30 when no candidates are ran, and you have 32.
Listen.
Here.
Now you see how the Republicans keep winning that are in the cult.
So what do you think that is?
I don't know what that is. That looks like a clerical error of some kind to me, because there shouldn't even be.
Do details matter in an election?
No.
So has anybody sent this to Heather or to I forget your clerk's name.
Linda Smith.
Linda Smith. God, see,
Listen,
I put
when
that
they
in the line.
can't even answer it in the election board meeting, it means they don't think we're smart enough to pick it up.
Yeah.
Now,
so my question
you
is,
have
no
me
one's asking.
mistaken.
Zero.
What?
It should be 0. Let me see if there's anything on Randolph County.
So I went through the whole numbers. Like I did a whole post on this, people. If you want to go back and look through my posts, I post a lot. I know, but it was about 10 days ago, or no, 7 days ago, because I posted it while I was sitting waiting for my daughter's graduation from her master's. And I pointed out a lot of errors with these ballots. There's another girl who's been watching, Laney or something. She's also pointed out several discrepancies that are problems, but we can't get any answers. We just keep getting shut down.
Yeah. I always tell everybody, and I know Kate put this up earlier. I always tell everybody, as far as the show goes, if you want to watch the show, if you're into the show, what I always tell everybody is watch it on YouTube. Watch it on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube, do all of that stuff. But we also post a lot in social media. So if you want to watch if you want to go to social media, I have crossed the limit to where I cannot accept any more friend requests. I've got too many, but still send me a friend request and then hit follow. And I accept friend requests when I am able to. So if somebody drops off or if I delete somebody off, which doesn't happen, but if someone leaves me, I always accept the next in line. But my Facebook is wide open. So if you hit follow and stuff, you'll be able to see everything. You can go there on my Facebook is here, facebook.com/Bilbrey318. The Political Spotlight Facebook is here. That's facebook.com/Bilbrey, Political Spotlight 318. And then Catherine's is here, facebook.com/Katherine.Callahan1. And if you go there, she posts a lot on Facebook. We post on Facebook pertaining to the show. She posts a lot of information. If you want stuff from Madison County, from all over Madison County, specifically you knew people from Madison County, you should go there and check that out.
And people need to understand we've been at this for years. So there's a lot of information out there. And my head, Christopher's head, Kate's head, we work at warp speed. And so sometimes it is a lot when, and I'm not trying to be short with you, but I just, my brain is working so fast that I don't know where you're at when you're entering into this arena. And it's a blood sport.
And so basically, I think that's...
And it's a blood sport, and so we welcome you to come on and do this with us.
I was making fun of Catherine.
He's always making fun of me. And here's the thing: if there is a certain topic that you want us to cover, and you write to Kristopher or Nicole, we will do our best to. And yeah, you can write to me too, but they have a lot more time that they can dedicate to this than what I can. So they are better people to reach out to. But I'll try to get back to you. I really will. And if you don't hear from me in a day or two, please read, because sometimes I'll open it and then I'll get called away to a patient and I was going to answer him. And then that's been lost. And I've got 10 other things that have come in. So I'm never ignoring you. If you're not getting a response from me, please continue. But we will cover it as a topic on the show.
On the other hand, I don't give a shit about my patients, so I let them die.
I care about
that.
What do you say, Kate?
As one does.
Yeah, right.
So, but that's the thing. Now, so I don't know why that one has. And then I sent you another one. Can you pull up the other one that shows how many blank ballots we have? And Ms. Crooms asked about the blank ballots. And again,
where did you send that one to? I don't see it. Oh, I see it right here. This.
See, Kristopher even edits what I want him to put up.
See, everything I'm seeing, because I'm looking at Randolph counties right now.
Yeah.
Anytime, especially Democrat side of things, it's real easy to find no candidate filed in Randolph County. Anytime I'm seeing no candidate filed, number of votes, 0 across the board.
Yeah, there's nothing like that.
0.
There's nothing like that in Delaware County or Henry County that I know of.
It's bizarre.
Yeah, live more. Yes, I get in trouble for calling it a blood sport, but we've always called it a blood sport.
No,
And
absolutely, 1000%.
yeah, people have tried to take out my jugular, but they keep missing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're in a good position.
No, it
But
is definitely a blood sport.
if you blow up that and
I
see,
can't.
and
That's
here's
the
the
reason I
thing,
was cuddling those things down. So
those
I can read it to you.
those blank ballots do not match the same amount that were casted in Summitville.
Give me a second here. I'll show you. I can.
So you can't even use that as a reason that they were blank ballots. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. And I believe Miss Crooms was actually in the polls when somebody, and I wish Teresa Smock were on here tonight because she did catch some blank ballots and made the person go back to the machine because they
What do you
didn't
mean
hit the
blank
right button.
ballots? If you want to turn in a blank ballot, you can. What are you talking about?
But they thought they'd voted.
Oh, you mean they actually went through and thought they voted, but they did not.
Yes.
Oh, she is here. She is here.
Oh, she is? Oh, okay.
So
Well, I
this is
didn't mean
what
to,
you're
like-
wanting to see.
Okay, so see those blank ballots cast?
Okay.
I don't know, but somehow they figured it out
All right.
over in that poll. And then
All
they
right.
were able to educate their voters.
All right. I
Which
will.
Teresa Smock does a great job with that.
I
She
will
does
send
take a
an
lot
email
of pride in winning these
tomorrow.
polls.
Back up real quick because I want to hear what you just said. I will send an email tomorrow to Heather to ask her to explain these things. I will find out what the hell this is because this looks very strange. Rather than trying to screw with it tonight and trying to figure it, because I've never seen that. I don't understand what that means. And I've been doing this since I've been 10 years old, and I don't know what that means. That's weird to me.
And I don't know why they don't give you the percentage on voter turnout and Democrat turnout. I mean, this is a computer system in this day
I
and
think
age.
because when you're fumbling the numbers, it's hard to do that. When you're just making numbers up, it's hard to do that. It's easier to just plot numbers in and do whatever you want to do.
Right?
Yes, Jeff. It is very dysfunctional.
Here's what I want to say to everybody who's watching. Everybody wants to say Catherine lost in 24, Catherine lost in 26. I don't know that I did.
Yeah, right.
Because everybody knows Kristopher and I, with Nicole's help and Miss Crooms, we literally showed you video during a county election board meeting that they can make up ballots, slide them through the machines, and nobody even knows what's going on. Like I literally was sitting in the room and didn't catch it.
Yeah.
So did I lose? I don't know.
Right. It's kind of like going to the doctor and then being like, you're going to go in and they're going to tell you you've got cancer or you don't have cancer. And winning the election in Madison County is kind of like being told you've been diagnosed with some kind of cancer. It's not a good thing. It might not be a good thing winning. It could be very bad. You might have dodged a bullet. I don't know.
Well, and that's how I look at it too, because I feel like God is saying, no, these people are going to sit in those seats and answer for their behavior when this whole thing implodes. And it's going to implode, people. The more people who get involved, the more you're going to see this implode.
That's right.
Listen, Miss Crooms says this to me all the time. The power is in the people. You have forgotten that.
Yeah.
You got to show up. There's a big meeting, and I want to make sure I plug this. There is a big meeting in Ingalls Tuesday night.
Yes.
And it's about data centers. And let me tell you something, people. Just because the county puts a moratorium for 6 months in place, that does not protect the towns. It doesn't protect LaPel. It doesn't protect Elwood. It doesn't protect Alexandria. It does not protect those people.
Yes.
So please understand that. People need to show up in Ingalls. Even if you're not from that area, you need to show, because once it comes in, it's coming everywhere. And the utilities will affect the entire county, not just Ingalls. People keep thinking, well, it's not here in our little town. It's still going to affect all of us countywide. So I encourage people to go to that down in Ingalls. And here is the thing, and it's posted on my Facebook page. Please share that, get other people to go. I wish there were people who would go and do Facebook Live, because I guess the meeting that they had last week at Pendleton Library, it was a fiasco. Jessica Baston showed up. Why would she show up? She's no longer our county engineer, but she's still vested in making sure, and she's still working things that are going on. So people, it would be important if people were there taking pictures, getting this up on video so we can record this stuff. Yes, by law, these towns are supposed to do that. But it will always be the bare minimum. And if there's a malfunction, then they go on with the show and we don't have any recordings of it. So that's going to be a big meeting down in Ingalls. And what I want to explain to everybody who's watching, down in Ingalls, the clerk down there is Justin Gardner. Now, why is that name important? Justin Gardner worked for years in the treasurers. And I don't know if he's still working in there or not. I need to really look and see if he's doing both jobs. I don't know. He is the clerk down in Ingalls. He is the son to Commissioner Rick Gardner. Now, they say that the commissioners didn't know anything about this data center in Ingalls, didn't know anything about this land being taken over. You mean to tell me that Bill's never talked to his dad about this? People. Now, come on. It's like passing the rolls. Oh, and by the way, so I just want people to know why it's so important that there's a big turnout in that standing room only down there in Ingalls, because if they can get that moratorium to go through and it says the public will be able to speak, then that will buy you some time until this gets under, a better handle. So that's a big one. That's Tuesday night. Again, it's all on my Facebook page. Please check it out. If you can go, that would be great. If you need a sign against those, Tandy has those for sale for $7. So please show your support in that way if you would like one. Now, the other thing is coming up is we're going to have another meeting about moratoriums for 6 months for the county. And that one I don't think is next week, but it's the following week. Listen to me on this one. It was supposed to be for a year, the moratorium for the county, but they've changed it to 6 months. Please understand that the reason why they've changed it to 6 months, I know this isn't going to come out of their mouths. They've changed it for 6 months because that will put us right around Christmas and the New Year. We would have to start having another moratorium kind of put in place around Thanksgiving, right? We'd have it. And what's everybody doing? They're busy doing holidays. They're busy with their families. Kids are on break from school, right? People are doing finals. You're doing year-end stuff, because then they can backdoor it and push it through because, well, no one wants to come out in the cold and the ice.
And don't they typically skip their December meetings anyway?
Yeah,
and
they
in December, yes, we do not have a county council.
Yeah, absolutely. All their applications.
Absolutely.
Moratorium ends because they won't have a meeting to put it back in place until after that.
Yeah,
correct.
That's true.
Yeah. So there's a lot of wheels that are spinning. I just want everybody to be fully aware of that. And like the big thing was in the last council meeting or the county commissioners meeting, we still don't have a county engineer. Nobody's replaced Jessica. She's been gone for months. Rachel Christensen suddenly resigned, who's best friends with Jessica Baston, resigned from the Parks Board because nobody could tell us how the Parks Board money is being spent.
Yeah.
Nobody on that board could tell us that. And then Rachel has a conflict of interest because her HWC engineering firm has a relationship with Avenue, who Avenue has a contract with the Parks Board. So she has suddenly resigned. They've brought in Kevin Smith, the previous mayor of Anderson. They've brought him in to take over her position. Now, understand, people, the commissioners put in 2 people into the Parks Board. Okay. One should be a Democrat and one should be a Republican. We're not so sure that Rachel was a Republican, and we're not so sure they were, because Ben Arquette is a Democrat. Those are both appointed by the commissioners. And what you have to ask yourself is, we have a completely Republican commissioner board. Why do all these Democrats keep getting the majority of the seats? So strange, isn't it?
Yeah, that's very strange.
And so, it's the same thing with the jail committee. They put on Joey Cole and Ned Dunahee, both Democrats, as the majority. It's the strangest thing if you're paying attention to what's happening. So that's the other thing that I want people to pay attention to. The other thing that happened in the commissioners meeting, they're gonna take, I don't know, like under $400,000 to redo the juror rooms in the court. And so they're going to take it out of capital improvements. But you know what was amazing? They couldn't do that with the clock tower that was $50,000. Now there's $3.2 million in the capital improvements. But instead they took the clock tower and took it out of general fund.
That's so weird.
So there's a lot of crazy stuff going on.
Yeah. That's so weird. And we will start paying a little bit closer attention to what's going on in Madison County. We're running a little late, and I know there's a bunch of people that are tuned in and want to hear about our thoughts about what's going on with Diego.
Yes.
So
I think there's some breaking news on that.
Yeah. Well, let's shoot over to Diego here real quick and talk about that. I want to take hit a spot for a break. So give me 1 second. We'll do that. And when we come back, we will talk about Diego. So the Diego drama, I'm sure by now everybody has heard about this. Everybody has an understanding of what's going on. It's so wild. And here's the thing. Everybody is running around acting like everybody should be happy about this. Like everyone should be happy that's like, oh, you haven't liked Diego and now they're shitting on Diego and they're trying to push him out. And are you happy? And I'm like, no, I'm not happy about this because number one, just pushing somebody aside because now we're afraid he's going to lose. All of this time they thought that he could win it, and Bobai was an idiot, and he couldn't win, and Ballard wasn't going to do anything. He wasn't going to disrupt us in any way, and he was an idiot, and he couldn't win, and no one had paid attention to any of Diego's drama. People paid attention, but no one in the upper echelon of this, no one that cared, and that Diego was still going to win because outside of just a couple people who question this, everyone seems to just not care, and they don't question, they don't care. But then all of a sudden, now we've got this problem with Diego, and people are thinking, Todd Rokita thinks, oh my God, he might lose. And Jim Banks thinks, oh my God, he might lose. And a couple bigwigs within the Republican Party think that he might lose, which will then spill over to him, and it'll cost them issues with their money and all of this. So now they want to push him to the side. They want him to not run. They want him to resign his office. And it's like, that's, first of all, I'm not okay with that. I want to beat Diego because Diego is an idiot and doesn't deserve to be there. I don't want to push him out and change how things are done. But moreover, I don't want to just push him out. I want him to have to be held accountable for all of the shit that he's done. And I want everybody else, Jim Banks, Todd Rokita, and Micah, the governor, everyone to be held accountable for the fact that they knew all of this, but they didn't do shit about it. And now they don't want to hold him accountable. They just want him to shut up and go away. Well, and I've got a major problem with that.
The reason why I think they want him to shut up and go away, if you ask my opinion, he's exposing too much of what they're doing. So, like the vehicles, the abuse of the vehicles, what happened with that? We started to see other departments are doing the same thing. So the more he behaves, the abuse of traveling outside of the country, well, people are starting to look into other people's finances. So the more he does, and that's kind of like with your show and you and I getting on here, even though we may not be talking about the county in which you reside in, it begins to stimulate you to say, hey, let me see what's going on in my county. And that's what I think they want him out of there.
Well, yeah, it's a really, really strange situation. So, like all of this stuff with Diego, there have been all these questions since Diego's drama started from like 2 months before he won the convention, carried all the way through when he won. And he has never been drama free. He's been drama filled since before he won. And it's been total chaos for his entire tenure. And it's been very questionable, but no one in these, powerful seats that they hold, no one has cared to call him out or to ask him what the hell's going on. And
they drag him around to every campaign thing that they're doing. J.D. Prescott had him as a speaker at one of his picnics. Micah Beckwith drags him around to all this stuff. Look, he's so wonderful. He's so great. It's ridiculous.
And now all of a sudden, within a week, they've changed gears?
Yeah, well, so I want to make sure, look at this. This is Indiana Doge, best statewide team in the country, with Governor Braun, State Treasurer Daniel Elliott, SOS Diego Morales, AG Todd Rokita, State Comptroller Elisa Nichella, and myself. And this was January 23rd. I love that I've been seeing that picture popping up everywhere, that people's been holding Micah accountable for this. And I think it is absolutely amazing that has happened. And then all of a sudden now there's this big controversy because he has this, his what was it? He has a staffer who's worked in his office and has been a deputy chief of staff who is quite possibly an illegal alien. Have you heard about that? Did you know that?
Oh, no, I read about that.
Okay.
But it's a
and
family
it's
member,
like,
isn't it?
What?
It's a family member, isn't it?
I'm sure that's what it's going to come out to be, because that's what he's done throughout the majority of his time in office. Is he's put people in places like his brother-in-law and all these other situations. And I'm sure that's very possible, but it's crazy. And this has been the thing that's been the fall from grace. This has been his big issue. And it's like, yeah, this is a pretty big issue when you're talking about this man who is in charge of Indiana's elections, having a woman who works in his office who is quite possibly an illegal alien. And they're talking about the fact that she possibly has a voter's history in the state of Indiana.
And that's what I'm saying. I think they're going to expose more and more, because when you look at this nepotism, people are like, but look at it. I mean, Rick Gardner is a perfect example. His wife is the chief deputy in the assessor's office. Son was working in the treasurer's office. Now he's over at Ingalls. They've had all these problems with property taxes. And it begins to make people look at other elected officials when you start bringing it. And I just think he's getting himself in a position that people are going to start to look at other people's offices. And it's just my thought.
Well, because
here's the thing: there's a lot of talk that Braun and his job, I don't know what he owns. He owns something, but my understanding is he has a lot of illegal immigrants working for him. I don't know.
Well, sure.
But don't call me people. I'm nobody. Go figure it out.
Well, what I want to know is so this woman, Elena Kupsi. Elena Kupsi.
What's her LinkedIn page say about her?
I don't know how to pronounce her. Let's see here. Okay. So it's Kapesh. I don't know. Whatever. This Elena chick, okay, has been employed there, recently left employment in the office amid questions about her citizenship status and voting registration history. Elena earned nearly $140,000 in 2025 and was employed by the office since 2023, according to Indiana government records. She didn't respond to a voicemail left by the Indy Star. Morales spokeswoman Lindsay Eaton referred to Indy Star to the state personnel department, which has yet to respond to the Star and has not given a comment. Here's what we know about the situation and how it's impacted the Secretary of State's race. Was former Morales staffer a citizen? The citizenship status of this woman who recently left Morales' office after serving in chief of staff role came into question after Indiana political blogger Abdul Hakim Shabazz first responded on the situation earlier this month. Documents obtained by Indy Star show that this woman's official Indiana driver's license record is listed as a restriction on it that is only used by non-citizens. Okay. The so-called temporary lawful resident restriction indicates that the holder of a credential has temporary lawful status in the United States. The staffer wasn't an illegal immigrant, as people with that credential are required to present documents to the BMV providing their identity and lawful status in the country. So she was illegal. She was legal at one point. However, if she overstayed her visa, that then makes it a problem. And there are some, and I want to put a disclaimer out here. I am not saying this. I'm not claiming this, but I am claiming that there are some, Abdul being one of these people, who has said that there might be indication that she has overstayed her visa, which at that point would make her illegal. And if that's in fact the case, that's a problem. And this will be easy to prove. She either is clear on her visa or she's not. And if she's not, it's a problem. And some are saying that's why she can't be found. The reason she can't be found for comment or people can't find out what's going on is because they knew that she'd overstayed. So they got her ass back to wherever she came from. So this is going to be very interesting because, like I always say, time will tell.
Yeah.
And we will find, I mean, we will know. This is different than who paid for India and all that other bullshit. We will know what happened here. And this is a big, big, big deal. And so now what's funny is the way that, and listen, people are going to give this woman shit and they're going to give him shit for what's happening. To me, it's much bigger than just this woman. It's the whole of his time in office, and then how they're trying. Anything. Yeah, well, yeah, right. Other than it was a very, very narcissistic tenure. It was all about him, all of his office stuff. It wasn't about the office. It was about him, and you know, he's the classic short man syndrome. Is what's going on there.
Here's the thing. What people will need to understand, the more pressure you put on, the more you expose, they will eventually turn on each other to save
start
themselves.
Eating each other. Yeah.
I mean, that's just how that's the reality of it. And so it's been very interesting to see because, you know, the question I have as we're watching all of this unfold, and for many of you who have followed along with Kristopher and I and Kate and Laureen White, who's been an attorney that's represented me on several situations, are these Republicans no longer in good standing because they're talking out against another Republican?
They're now
and
bashing him.
That was one of the biggest things that they took me to 5th District about, is that I speak against Kelly Hewer. I speak against Russ Willis. I call out their financials. You know, Russ Willis's financials are still not correct, people.
I don't know why they would have a problem with you talking about the Mellingers, because you're just stating factual information there that he's a Democrat. And with him being a Democrat, he's obviously not a Republican. So they shouldn't have a problem with that.
Right. And so, I mean, that's the whole thing that I don't understand. And, you know, like anything, Kristopher, I'm okay with the order. I'm okay with going to court with the Mellingers because you know why? You and I and Laureen, we get to depose everybody.
Yeah. Well,
you have to prove that what I said was incorrect. Well, you're getting ready to put a whole line of people in the middle of this, and it's pretty hard to keep all those people with the same story. So, do what you got to do, because that's the love and the beauty of it. When you're telling the truth, you're not afraid.
Yeah, right. That's the thing. Brenda says, Brenda says, how can lay people find out if someone is illegal or not? That's the problem. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. Here's the deal. There are things that are doing what we do. There are records that we can find. There are public record requests, and being in the media is no different than being a citizen. Here's the deal. The fact that I have a little press credential from the Indiana State House that says I'm press does not give me some special power. You are governed by the same First Amendment that I am. I am no more special than you are. You're no more special than I am. Every citizen has the right. We all have the ability to file a record request. And that's the one thing that Abdul has said about this. Because whether people like him or don't like him or whatever, and there's lots of questions to whether he's good at what he does or not good at what he does and all of that. The one thing I can say is I think he did do a pretty good job on this investigation. And the thing that he has said, everything that he has used to come to this situation with Diego and with this staffer, he has used public documents to prove everything that he has proved. So that's one thing that people need to know. Jeff said, I thought Kentucky politics were crazy with baby Andy. Dude, Indiana is nuts. You live in Madison County now, where I live in Delaware County. We had the FBI set up shop here for 8 years, and they arrested our mayor. They took our mayor out in handcuffs in Muncie. They arrested like 7 people from his administration. It was called Operation Public Trust. It was a great big deal. We've had mayors and sheriffs arrested for gambling. The FBI was after Big Jim Carrey every time he was elected to the sheriff. He was police chief. He had wives that were killed. Dude, we have a colorful history. So yeah, welcome to Indiana politics. But I want to read this.
We got you beat here in Madison County all the time, and you keep telling me not till you have the FBI come in.
I want to read this thing that Catherine sent, and this was put out today. This again is from Abdul Hakim Shabazz, and the headline is, "They made him an offer he could refuse." And so this is for Diego Morales. The deal: for much of the past week, sources told Indy Politics that U.S. Senator Jim Banks and Attorney General Todd Rokita worked to broker an off-ramp for Diego Morales. The pitch, sources say, was simple and straightforward. Avoid a convention floor fight, let the party close ranks behind a consensus nominee, and find Morales a soft landing on the back end. Sources say Morales came close to accepting that offer. The consensus nominee Banks and Rokita had in mind, sources say, and we now know, was and is Max Engling, Banks' Central Indiana Regional Director and Senior Advisor. Engling officially filed for the race the same day that Banks and Rokita pulled their endorsements of Morales and then threw their support behind Engling. This is wild to me. This is wild.
Didn't your GOP say that anybody who supported Ballard against Diego, that they would be crucified?
Yeah. Anybody that supported Ballard against Diego would be considered in bad standing. And matter of fact, when he sent that out in a internal email or internal text message, and I started getting that, I received it from like 5 or 6 different people, and I started reaching out to other people and saying, hey, did you get this? Did you get this? Did you get this? He actually got mad at David Williams, and he kicked David Williams out of that internal group because he said David Williams leaked it to me. But David Williams didn't leak it to me. David Williams was just one of the people that I asked. Matter of fact, the screenshot of that showed what kind of phone it was sent to me on. and David Williams doesn't even have. It's like somebody sent it to me from an Android, and David Williams has an iPhone, and it was like very easy to prove, what the situation is. What I find funny about this is it was just 7 days ago now, 7 days ago, that the Delaware County idiot Republican Party chairman endorsed Diego himself. Okay. I am proud to be endorsed and supported by Tim Overton. Tim has done great work for our state and the Republican Party. He knows what is at stake in November and why I'm the best person to defeat Bo Bai. Thank you for your support. And this is Tim Overton. I am proud to endorse Diego Morales for re-election as Secretary of State. His compelling American story reflects the promise of hard work and opportunity, and his time in office has demonstrated a proven conservative record. As we look ahead to November, he is the strongest candidate to defeat liberal Bo Bai and continue advancing policies that protect our elections and uphold our values. Please join me in supporting Diego Morales for Secretary of State. And what I find funny about this is, I love it. What I love about this is Tim drools all over himself for Jim Banks and Todd Rokita. He loves these people. His panties all get all carried away. I'm telling you, Tim is that a child standing with him? So look, folks, Jeff says he's not from here, but you've been here long enough to get the joke about Diego. That's hilarious. So I don't know how long you've been here, but are you aware that Diego takes his box around and makes himself taller, and that there's pictures of him standing on his tiptoes when he's next to women? Have you've been here long enough to get that joke, right? Or did you literally just make that up? That's hilarious if you don't know that and you just said that. So here are Jim Banks and Todd Rokita when they came out on Thursday saying that they are now endorsing Max Engling. And I guarantee you, Tim just doesn't know what to do, because his heroes are, changing course here and changing gears. What do they say? You don't change course in midstream, whatever. Or
is that endorsement still up on Facebook? Or the Tim's?
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
it absolutely is.
They're going to smack his pee-pee for not taking that down right away.
Why doesn't everybody get on Tim's page and start tagging Jim Banks and Todd Rokita? Listen, people, when Kristopher took away my wooden spoons, I went and got an electric mixer.
Kate, can you do me a favor? Can you look on Facebook and see if you can find the pictures and the posts of Diego standing up on his tiptoes so we can show Jeff? Because he said he just made that up on the spot. And if so, that's freaking great, and what we can really show him. It's something that the people of Indiana have been talking about for a long time. And it's golden. Okay. While she's looking for that, I want to continue on here. So everybody's got behind Max Engling here. The sticking point for Morales, and the sources says, was the landing. So the job on the back end was a possibility, not a commitment. And good for Diego. Because I guarantee you what they were going to do is they were going to screw him. They weren't going to be a job. As soon as he decided to not run, and as soon as he resigned or whatever the hell they were talking him to do, as soon as he did that, they were going to boot him out and say, like, who are you? We never knew you. And so the people working hard on the back channel had trouble lining one up. They couldn't find a job for him. Sources say that it was Morales' reputation and his own complicated employment history that made the search for a private sector position difficult. The public record on Morales includes a 2011 discipline and resignation episode in the very office that he currently works in, which is amazing, under Charlie White, a disputed earlier exit from the office under then Secretary Todd Rokita. So he's literally been fired or quit working from the office that he currently helms twice, which is amazing. Throw in all the previous reporting on taxpayer-funded travel, vehicles, and a six-figure branded vehicle history product, sexual harassment allegations from his time in the office, the hiring of family members into state position, and most consequentially, the Can-2 declaration of candidacy forms his own office failed to properly notarize because staff members were not licensed notaries, and oversight in the very office that issues notary license in Indiana. Morales also does not have the kind of pre-existing practice or business in that a former office holder typically falls back on. Sources say he was not willing to step aside on the assurance that the party would take care of him. He wanted a specific position in hand. Instead, all he got was a handshake. And so that, while I can say, like, good for you, Diego, I also think it's gross that he's like, yes, I will step aside if you can promise me something. You know, it's like, how much bigger of a whore can you be? You know what I mean? Like,
listen, when they show you their true colors, believe them. Don't keep reelecting them back into the office.
Yeah, right. I mean, okay. Go ahead.
That's I mean, just like Gaskell, he's signing all these nuclear bills. He's signing for these data centers. He's doing all this. I show the people that, and you still put him in office?
Yeah, you still put him back in that
office.
office.
Get the government you tolerate then.
You get the government you tolerate. Kate, you have it here?
I found a video.
Oh, this is even better.
I found a video, so this should be interesting. I didn't watch the whole thing, but it does show him on tippy toe. So here we go.
Tippy toe Diego Morales was getting Bidened this week by the Indiana Republican Party, and he's not dropping out. This is the craziest story. Diego Morales is the current Indiana Secretary of State, and he is cartoonishly corrupt and has a this week by the Indiana Republican.
I'm just going to go back to the tippy toe.
Was getting Biden.
Okay.
There we go. Can you see it?
Yeah.
On tippy toe, standing next to women.
That's a pretty big deal.
Dude.
It's something that's been a joke that's been made about Diego for a long time. Matter of fact, there was a picture of Rob Kendall talking to him at a Lincoln Day dinner here a while back. And one of Rob Kendall's listeners actually took the time to paint a picture of Rob talking to that individual, and of Rob talking to Diego. And here that is. Let me see if I can get that put up here real quick.
It sounds like Diego's not going to drop out, though, because they weren't able to, like, guarantee him a high-paying job. You know, it's like that no general left behind program in the military. When they retire, they always have something in the private sector lined up.
It's all going to implode. It's listen, it's on fire. The house is on fire.
Yeah, right. Yeah, here it is. Here's the picture. And this is a drawing of an actual picture. So the fact that Jeff made that up is hilarious for someone who just moved to Indiana and has heard about Diego for 10 minutes of this conversation. He said, was he on his tippy toes?
My height.
Yeah, right. Well, so you can see the picture behind Rob. I cut his toes off. I put it into AI. And I said, okay, make a taller person, because Rob is about 5'4".
Yeah.
And so, what's funny to me is Diego is shorter than Rob, but then I was like, give me a real man behind Rob. And so I've made this. I'm going to send it to Rob and I'll be like, look, this is like actually what it should look like.
Diego must really be my height.
Yeah. Because Rob is short. Rob is not a tall guy. He's 5'5", 5'6".
Okay, for those people in Madison County, here's a good picture of Diego where he doesn't have to stand on his tippy toes. Linda Smith she's got to be about 5 foot, and he's standing right to the side of her, and he doesn't have to stand on his tippy toes. He is taller than her, but not by much. That just shows you how short he is.
Oh yeah, this is
okay.
Good.
Now, if you know me in person, you know I'm not very tall. He's not on his tippy toes on this picture either, and you can look at that.
Here, look. Yeah, look at that. That's gold because he's just a little bit taller than her there.
And listen, we all get duped. Okay, we all get duped. I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. So this is a picture. Did you see that other picture come through?
Yeah, give me 1 second here. I was putting this out of the way here. This shows. Here we go. Save. Yeah, there's that. And then where's the other one you said?
It should be in that same clip. I'm 5'2", even though my daughters tell me I am not 5'2". I am 5'2". They say I'm more like 5'1".
Oh, dude, what's going on here?
And that was us at a Lincoln dinner meeting when I was in good standing. But I have flats on. He has flats on.
Yeah, you both have flats on.
We're the same height. So
that
gives you any perspective of, you know what my daughters called me today?
What?
A Wasian. You know what that is? A white Asian.
A white Asian. That's amazing.
I guess it's different from a Cajun, which is a Caucasian Asian. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, so that is absolutely funny. I love that there, and I think that's shows you just what goes on. And this is something that was bothering him. This is what kind of individual this is. He's not out here trying to do what he can to make sure that things go well in the office and that the election's running smooth and everything's going normal there. He's out here concerned about how tall
himself.
He is and all that. And it's just like, dude, you got to be kidding me. Like that's what your concern is. That's really problematic.
And that's the truth right there, Kate. Who's going to hire him? Even in the public sector. I mean, he's done. Like literally he is done. I mean, anybody knows the name is going to say, even if he goes for a job at a company, he's done.
Yeah. Well, so then here's the other side of this. So basically they're not able to get him a job, so he turned it down. So now we're on to Fort Wayne, which is where the Indiana Republican Party convention will be held this summer. It will actually be held the 17th through the 20th, I think. I looked. I'm still trying to work out with the Republican Party here in Delaware County about being an appointed position.
That's easy. Tell Tim that you are definitely voting for Diego.
Yes, I could do that, and I would be a yes. He makes Ron DeSantis look tall. Absolutely, I could be an absolute shoo-in just for telling him I will vote for Diego. So the Indiana Republican Convention this year, 2026, is going to be held in Fort Wayne. It's going to be June 19th and 20th. I'm going to go as a delegate, which I would prefer to go as a delegate, But if I can't go as a delegate, I will go as the political spotlight. And so that's going to happen. So what happens in Fort Wayne? In Fort Wayne, if everything stays the same, it's going to be a contested convention for Fort Wayne, which this is actually going to make it interesting. Morales will face Engling. Okay, Max Engling. Also, he faces Knox County Clerk David Shelton. He also faces conservative activist Jamie Reitenauer, not to be confused with Dan Ridenour, two different spellings. Ridenour is Rideenour. Reitenauer is Reiteneur. Two different people. One's a man, one's a woman. One's white and one's not. I think she's black. I can't really tell. I don't know if she's black or she's a person of color. I don't know what it is. With delegates choosing the Republican nominee for Secretary of State on the convention floor, they will be confusing it. They will be picking it on the floor. So this is not going to be a vote. So this could be a big knockdown drag out. This could be real fun. This makes it far more interesting. Morales heads to the convention as a weekend, not a weekend, but a weekend incumbent. He could not win a delegate slot in his own precinct for the May 5th primary. Listen to this. This dude ran for delegate in his own home area, and he couldn't win a delegate spot. That's crazy to me. Where he and his wife, Sidonia, both ran for one of 6 available slots. Both finished out of the money. The results mean the sitting Secretary of State would have had to be appointed as a delegate just to be on the convention floor when his party decides whether to renominate him. Who is Max Engling? Engling is the least known of the 4 candidates in the general public. He has spent his career in Republican politics rather than an elective office, working as a senior advisor to the banks to Jim Banks, and previously running unsuccessfully in the 2024 GOP primary for Indiana's 5th congressional district, where he finished 3rd behind Victoria Spartz. His allies argue he has the operational and policy chops the office needs and the relationships in Washington and Indianapolis to be effective from day one. Critics, including some delegates who have been on the receiving end of the past weekend's outreach, have already began asking whether a sitting U.S. Senator staffer with no elective experience and a recent 3rd-place primary finish is the right person to run a statewide election, and whether to run in a statewide election and then possibly run the office, and whether the timing of the endorsements, the filing, and the Morales push amounts to the senators handling a constitutional office to a member of his own staff. Engling enters the convention with Banks and Rokita's endorsements behind him and an operation that has been quietly preparing for this moment for months, apparently. Shelton Knox, the county attorney, Shelton, the Knox County clerk, has been running an active delegate counting operation in his own and has positioned himself as the establishment alternative. Reitenauer, who ran for governor in 2024, is pitching delegates from the right and has a built-in following among the more activist wing of the convention floor. Also on the ballot, delegates in Fort Wayne will also choose a Republican nominee for treasurer and auditor, although neither race is expected to draw the attention the Secretary of State contest will. Democrats will also pick their Secretary of State nominee at their own state convention on June 6th. So that's kind of the rundown.
A couple things while you were doing this, because you know me, I'm working on other things. A couple things. If you go to the messenger, one is if you are interested in this race, they will be in Hancock County. These candidates, this coming week, they will be in Hancock County. So, Kristopher, I mean, you can look at that page. You can go. It's at the Grill in McCordsville. It's not an expensive place. Anybody can afford to go there. I used to get lunch from there all the time. So don't feel like you're going to this really crazy expensive place where they're hosting this at. So, and it doesn't look like there's a charge for it. It looks like it's free for people to attend this. If you want to attend, I don't know if you need to RSVP, but I did post it on my page a couple days ago. If you're really interested in this and you want to see those people, you have it there to do that. Now, as we talk about this, Max England, I got to know him in the last in 24 when he was running for Victoria Sparks' seat. And Max, I mean, I don't have a problem with Max. As far as, he's easy to talk to. I like his energy, but I got a problem with the fact that why are you just showing up now? Right? So this guy wants to be the Secretary of State. One must ask, why didn't he run for a Senate seat this time? Why didn't he run for a state rep? I think he ran, I'd have to go back and look, but I think he ran as a PC, not as a PC, as a delegate here in Madison County. I don't think he won. But I got to go back and look that up. I'm not sure.
When did he? Where does he live now?
He's in Cicero, so he would have been over here. But he's not going to go against. I don't know if he's in the Cicero, which would have been my district, because there's sections, and he just won't run against an incumbent. But you know what? Don't you want somebody to run against an incumbent? Because some of these people just need to go. And so, that's why, and he's not pounding the pavement. Now, Max was at the Tea Party when Gaskell and I kind of had words, and never once did England ask a question, right? And he's just one county over. He's never shown up at a county election board. And look at the mess we have over in Madison County. He could at least attend and be present and look at all the corruption. It's a great arena to learn about what not to do, right? Because, and they're so blatant about it over here in Madison County. And so these are the things that make me very concerned. Does Max have the stamina? Does he have the backbone to push back when we need fair and transparent elections? And I don't know that he can do that because he is a party line tower, and we have enough of that. We got to get away from that, right? But my final question is to all of this, and this picture is courtesy of Nicole Kapuzinski. So I'm not going to take credit for it because it is to her credit. And this is where I want to ask the people, and I'd like to take a poll for those of you who are still stayed with us on this. Can money buy an election? Or will this political machine, the Republicans, be powerful enough to put Max into seat? Now, I like Dave Shelton. I have done podcasts with Dave Shelton. Anytime I've called Dave Shelton with a concern, he has told me what forms I needed. He has been on the up and up. I would be voting for Dave if I were a state delegate. So some people have a problem with Dave Shelton, and I don't. He's always been on the up and up. He's been a great guy to podcast with. He is very informative. He's willing to share his knowledge. He's down at the state testifying that we need more transparent elections. So I'm a big Dave Shelton fan. But show that final picture that I sent of finances. This is Cesar Diego Morales's finance and what he has in the bank right now. It's crazy.
All right, hold on here.
What I'd like to see is all the people who donated to this. How much do you guys think this guy's got in the bank? Because if he spends this, and if I was him, you're in the Super Bowl, buddy. You better put it all out there because he better spend every last dime of this to secure that seat. Look at how much money this guy's got.
I'm putting that up here right now. Give me a second. Voting is open. Hit the poll. You can see there. Type 1 or 2 in the chat and vote, and let's see it. I'm convinced money and influence can buy an election. Sad, but my opinion. Hit 1 or 2. Vote, folks. While I'm putting this up here, we're getting ready to wrap it up, folks. We're just I want to put this picture up here and get you guys to vote. We've only got one voter so far. You guys suck. That's the problem. Vote.
Alva, it's a 1 or a 2.
1 or 2, bro. Get with the picture. Get with the program.
Come on, Alva. It's
Jesus.
late, we know.
This is the problem we have.
Ask John Jacobs this question.
Yeah, right. That's absolutely no question. Dude, I'm telling you, he got beat. But if I was John Jacobs, I would go get that finance report, and I would take it and I would get it printed on gold like paper or gold leaf paper, like black ink on the gold paper, and I would put that up, and you know what? I might get it and do that, because that is such. They spent like, how much money did they spend on him?
It was over $500,000. It was close.
Diego's got more than that to spend.
Oh, it was insane. I think it was
close to $1 million.
It might have been $1 million, right at $1 million to beat him for a state rep race.
Yeah. Because he wouldn't kiss the Republican Party.
Yeah.
He actually voted his conscience.
Dude, seriously. Yeah. Totally crazy.
Thomas
Absolutely
Massey.
Insane. Yeah.
There's another one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That picture.
Oh, what's his name? Holdman.
Oh yeah, Travis Holdman. The same thing happened. Yeah, to him. Yeah, very same thing happened to him. This is what she's talking about here, and it might be a little hard to see, but I can tell you guys. So, Diego Morales, cash on hand and investments at close of the reporting period. And the reporting period is from 1/1/26 to 3/31/26, and his amount is $1,199,118.25.
He's got $1.2 million to burn, and that doesn't even include. And that's what's so interesting, because if you go look up Gaskell's, since that reporting time ended, he's got more insurance companies and more people who are dumping stuff into his campaign with even more money. And that's what I'm saying. Some of these people wait till after this closes because they don't want to screw up the primary or something like that. But if money can buy elections, guess what? Diego's going to buy this one through. And Christopher, you can't do anything with this money if he loses.
Well, he can, but here's the deal. He can donate it off. They can donate it to other campaigns.
Pay back any loans to himself.
He can pay back loans to himself. He can donate it to other campaigns. He can.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So I'm running. He donates it to my campaign.
Yeah.
Okay. Could I turn around and pay him to work on my campaign and pay this money out to him?
That'd be legal.
That's what I'm talking about. So now people know how the game is played. And this is why Katherine, what might have been born at night, but it wasn't last night. And that's all the tricks of the trade right there.
Yeah.
That's how this works, people. This is how they leave government rich.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So just my thoughts for tonight. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah.
You know, we go through a lot of information and we haven't even scratched the surface.
Yeah. No, right. That's the problem. And so, I mean, it could do, that's the thing, folks. I could do,
24 hours a day.
6 hours a night. I could do 7 days a week. You know, we could all do it. You know, it's, can he hold it until the next election cycle? Certainly. Certainly. Here's the bitch though. Could you imagine being somebody that has $1 million in an account just sitting right there, and you're just not doing anything for 4 years, and it's just sitting there?
Well, I mean, he could run for something in 2 years in a different area. But here's the thing. If Rokita and Banks were smart people, which clearly you're not, you would say, listen, donate all that money to Max. In turn, we will hold it, and then we will pay you out saying that he employed you to work on his campaign. You walk away and the deal is done.
Well, I think the problem though is the way his spending habits and the shit that he likes doing. $1 million not enough. That's his problem.
It is. I completely agree with you. And at the end of the day, people do not look enough through finances of these elected officials, and that's why they're getting away with it. People.
At the end of the day, the problem is how these finances are ran. So what happens is the election, you sign up in January, the election is in May, and the finance report is from the beginning of the year until May 6th or May 8th, or excuse me, until April that the first or second Friday in April. So then you still have 3 weeks to take in a bunch of money and do a bunch of crazy shit for that primary that nobody's going to know until October. That's what I don't like. The filing period should be from January until, I don't know, the Friday before the election.
Correct.
And then you should have to turn that in, and then it should be blasted everywhere that weekend. And that's one reason why people shouldn't vote until the end.
Exactly.
There's so many reasons why people, if you are an able-bodied person, you should go and vote on election day. Period.
Exactly.
All right, folks, we're going to wind her down. I appreciate it. Catherine, as always, thank you. We will not wait a month to have you back on. We'll get you back on, and we'll go over more stuff. And there's always things to cover. We probably, if you're willing, I mean, I know you're going to want to take time off, take breaks, but if you're willing, we probably need to get back to having you on like once a week or once every other week or something, just to kind of, keep a track on things. So we'll see what goes on, but I appreciate you coming on.
I mean, you guys have so much going on your end too.
It's just always like it's crazy. Yeah. It's just there's never enough time. Yeah. As always, please, like we've said a couple times, go through, smash the like button. Oh, thank you, Kate. No, you're fine. I didn't know if you're doing it or not. Smash the like button. If you're watching on Facebook or Rumble or wherever, we thank you for watching. But jump to YouTube if you get a chance. That helps us out the most. Subscribe, do all of that stuff. Share the show with everyone you know. If you want to talk to us, find us there on YouTube. You can communicate on there. That's YouTube. If you want to find us on Facebook, we're on Facebook. You can find us at Kristopher H. Bilbrey on Facebook. There that is. You can find the Political Spotlight on Facebook. There that is. We're also on podcast hosting platforms, so you can find all that if you're interested. We're on TikTok. We're on Apple. Or on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, Radio Public, Amazon Music, all of the podcast hosting sites. There's where that is. And lastly, if you want to look for Catherine, Catherine's Facebook page is down at the bottom. Bing, there we go. Facebook.com/Catherine.Callahan1. So thank you all very much.
I did put the link in the comments to her Facebook.
She put it in the comments too. Thank you, Kate. Very good, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you. We will see you back here tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you for everything. And I'm happy that all the new people were here tonight. So thank you for that too. All right. See you later.